of that has to go to the Rockets defense. It'll be interesting to see what kind of defense they throw at the Maroons tonight, and we understand they've got a rather aggressive offense also. Their quarterback put some points on the board last week, ran for 3 touchdowns and passed for another. So it should be an interesting matchup. A couple of 1-0 teams that won their openers, playing tonight here at Clinton High School. The Rockets of Tolono Unity and the Clinton Maroons. Back with more on our pregame show in just a moment. First and 10 for the Clinton Maroons. It's Sam wants to throw. He's looking for Herzog up the right sideline all the way. Beat his man. He got it. 20, 50, 10, 5. Touchdown, Maroons! Flip backfield. One wide receiver each way. Quick pop over the middle to Nichols. He'll give it. Oh, and the lateral to Carter. Hook and ladder. Carter's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Maroons! Maroons really need to score on this play. From the 6. Sam hands it off. Conley trying to get around the corner. He's got the speed. 5. Touchdown!
Clinton Maroon football brought to you by the John Warner Bank, Edward D. Jones and Company, Dave's Food Basket, Walker Tire, Allen Chiropractic, Ace Hardware, Subway, Joe Taylor, Attorney at Law, Quality Glass, Illinois Power, and the Clinton Daily Journal.
Back here at Clinton High School and just about set to get this one underway on WHOW-FM radio live and also here on Clinton Cable TV with the tape-delayed telecast on Channel 10. For those of you watching the replay on TV, you can see barely in that crowd of football players. For a moment, you got a glimpse of the head coach, Chuck Nagel, with a few final comments to his football team. They got him surrounded right now, and they're going to break huddle and head out into the field. We're going to be dealing with the sun for a little bit here. This 7 o'clock early start this early in the season is going to make it a little bit difficult for us to see the football field, and the fans, for that matter, seated on this side of the field looking toward the sunset in the west. So bear with us here. We're going to have to shade our eyes a little bit, but it won't be out there that long. And way off in the distance, I don't know if Phil will get a chance to maybe, well, it's toward the sun. There's a hot air balloon setting in the west out there. He's going to get a zoom. Way to go, Phil. He's going to zoom right in on it. It was over Clinton about 20 minutes ago, and it's floated off out in the distance into the country. Maroons are going to kick it off. Carl Kortz has it teed up at his own 40-yard line, and we're about set to get this one underway. There's 2 deep men for the Unity Rockets. Jacques Lefer, I believe, is one standing about his own 5-yard line, and the other man appears to be Steve Hall, and the kick will go to Lefer at about his 15. He's to the 20, 25-yard line right up the middle. Then he's bottled up a little bit, still stays on his feet and gets out beyond the 30 to about the 31-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Unity Rockets. They'll come out with their quarterback that Joe was telling us a little bit about during our pregame show, Brady Allison, the 165-pound junior. And fullback will be Ryan Reinhardt. He's 175 pounds and a senior. Only stands about 5'7". We're not sure exactly who the starting tailback will be, so we'll try to pick up on him in just a moment. From their own 31, 1st and 10 for the Rockets. Jacques Lefer will go wide to the right side. Another man wide to the left side of the football field. And on 1st and 10, Allison up under center. Looking over the football field, taking his time as they run out of this offense on the first down play. They'll send a man in motion, and they'll hand it off to the first man. He's bottled up right at the line of scrimmage and dropped for a yard loss on the play. And a little bit of a misdirection play as Hall lined up on the right end, came across behind in motion in the backfield and took the handoff, but found nowhere to go and was met at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yes, the Maroons defense did exactly what they did last week. They stuffed the run well, and you know, hopefully they can do as good a job this week as they did last week.
Unity's not as big as Olympia as far as their line players, but they still have some guys with some good size on the line. Probably still a little larger than the Maroons, but that's going to be the case a lot during this season. On 2nd down, again, very little gain as the run will go up the middle. The one thing they do is conceal the ball pretty well, but the Maroons down there on the line aren't being fooled. Reinhardt was the ball carrier. He got about 1.5 yards. We'll maybe give him 2 yards on the play, but it's 3rd and a long 8 coming up for Unity. They've got to get it out to their own 41-yard line for a 1st down. It's the 3rd down play coming up.
One thing that is encouraging for the Maroons here is the defense had a nice initial surge there forward, and that's what helped them stop the running back.
They put 1 lone back in the backfield, then a wing back right side, 2 wide receivers to the right, and 1 wide receiver to the left-hand side. You think it's a passing down? Possibly. Holland goes in motion again. The quarterback will hand it off instead, and the Maroons will prevent the 1st down by several yards I think it was Reinhardt again who got the call right up the middle and got a couple more yards as Wilson came up from his linebacker spot to put him down after about a 3-yard gain. It's 3rd and about 5 coming up for Unity, and it appears they'll have to punt the football to the Maroons. And a good start defensively for Clinton.
Once again, they just stuffed the run, and they did a good job last week against a bigger opponent. And this week, Tolono still looks a little bigger, but they're a more speed-oriented team than Olympia was.
Ijems and Schumacher are deep. They're standing at about their own 30-yard line. Reinhardt will do the kicking for Unity. Under a little pressure, gets a good boot away that Schumacher's going to have to trace back for, and he picks it up at the 28. Now he's across the 30 as he regains his balance, dives forward, and gets it out beyond the 36-yard line before he's brought down. And the Maroons will have pretty good field position to start their first drive of the ball game. We've played about 2.5 minutes. Unity stopped on their first series, and now Clinton with the football for the first time tonight.
Schumacher did a good job as he made that catch over the shoulder, and he was looking over to the sun as he turned that shoulder. That had to be difficult for him, and he did a good job of not fumbling the ball.
So the Clinton Maroons, under the direction of experienced but only a junior quarterback, Nate Sands, but a very experienced one, will hand off on first down. Wilson's got a big hole up the middle. He's across the 50, breaks into the clear. 45, being chased from behind. He will be caught, but he's all the way down to the 20-yard line. Caught from behind by a speedier man, and Eric Temple, I believe it was, for Unity, but not until he was deep into Unity territory. What a big hole up the middle for Wilson.
It was a quick trap up the middle, and the center and guard did a good job there. And they just ripped the big hole open for Wilson. He found it, and he rumbled down the middle of the field for a nice pickup of 45.
Yeah, it goes from the 36-yard line of Clinton, and they're just inside the 20 in Unity territory. Sams will hand it off to Wilson again. This time he's bottled up after about a yard gain to the 19-yard line. Not near the opening that time. David Lemmel trying to throw the lead block out front. I was talking to people during the week. Everybody wanted to talk about last week's football game against Olympia, and people were commenting on Lemmel's play, and they said, man, when he plays some of the other teams in our conference, he's going to be like a man among boys out there. People are really licking their chops at the play of David Lemmel on both sides of the ball.
He came across like a freight train. Defensively, he had 3 sacks and singed his man defensively. Offensively, he's doing a good job, too.
Sam's on options, has an opening up the middle, then he's hit hard and dropped just short of a first down, it appears, just outside the 10-yard line. That option right, he just spun around, then cut it upfield, had a nice opening, and then one of the defensive secondary people for Unity came up and chopped him down low and knocked him down at about the 11-yard line. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Maroons after about, a 8-yard gain for Nate Sams.
Yeah, Nate once again found an open area, and he just ran right across there. And Tolono really not putting up much of a fight right here as the Maroons have came down the field pretty fast.
Well, it's a big play here on the opening drive for the Maroons on 3rd and 1 at the 11 of Unity, but somebody jumped, I think, for the Maroons, and they're going to pick up a 5-yard penalty, and that's one of the things you talked about during our pregame show. Maroons have to stay away from the penalties. Let's wait and see who will be called for the penalty, but yes, it is procedure against the Maroons. Now, even though Olympia seemed to make more than the Maroons last week, and at even more costly times, Clinton still had some times when they hurt themselves in scoring opportunities by making a mistake like a penalty.
Yes, Clinton did have 9. Olympia had 11, but still, penalties hurt your team no matter what. It halted drives when they needed big plays, and let's hope they don't make as many mistakes this week.
From just outside the 15, it's now 3rd down and 6. Sams again the option. He pitches. Conley bobbles it a little bit, but picks it up, and he'll get it inside the 10 down to about the 5-yard line. And excuse me, that's Jamie Queer. No, it's Josh Wilson, excuse me, who was the ball carrier out of the backfield. Not used to seeing his number in there, but Josh, who's a sophomore, 6 foot tall, 175 pounds, was the man I'm so used to seeing Ryan Conley in the backfield here after that first ball game. But instead, it was a 35, not a 33, and a good run by Wilson after the pitch right at the right moment by Sams. He knows how to handle that option.
Yeah, Sams once again pitched it at the pivotal moment, and that led to a good run by Wilson as he got over 10 yards.
1st and goal from the 5. Sams will hand it off. Opening for Conley up the middle. He keeps his head down, and he's in for the touchdown.
That's his 3rd touchdown of the year, and he's getting pretty acquainted with the end zone as once again he found it. And it was a good play, as quick trap up the middle.
Big hole by that offensive line, and they gave Ryan Conley a lot of room to roam up the middle. He had that forward momentum. He was caught near the goal line, but he was able to fall forward into the end zone for the 5-yard touchdown run. As you said, his 3rd touchdown run of the year. That's all 3 touchdowns the Maroons have scored so far this year. And quickly, Clinton in the first quarter of play leads 6-0. Now here's Carl Quartz on for the extra point attempt. Nate Sams will handle the snap, puts it down. Quartz's kick is on the way, plenty of distance, and it is through the uprights. Good. So timeout on the field. 7:28 to go in the first quarter of play. A great start for the Clinton Maroons. As we'll take break, it's Clinton 7, Unity nothing.
The Warm Neighbors Fund pays heating bills for people in need. It also weatherizes homes, which helps reduce future heating bills. Warm Neighbors is administered by the Energy Assistance Foundation, a nonprofit organization formed in 1982 with a $250,000 donation from Illinois Power. Last year alone, your contributions and major funding from Illinois Power provided warmth for over 2,000 families.
Well, in last week's ball game, the Maroons scored in the first quarter of play, too. It was a little bit closer to the midway point, not quite as quick. It was on their second possession, so this is an even better start than last week's ball game. Hopefully, though, it won't be the only score they have until the waning seconds like it was last week when they scored halfway through the first quarter, then we went all the way to 23 seconds in the game before they scored that winning touchdown.
Yeah, they didn't wait too long to score in this one, as they all 5 plays were running plays, and they ripped through the line pretty big. Only one game that wasn't very big, and you know, hopefully it goes like this the whole game. Maroons will rack up some points.
Another good kick by Courts. That'll travel down to about the 10-yard line where LaFleur picks it up again right up the middle, has a little bit of opening, stays on his feet, then is caught around the ankles and drugged down by Lance Taylor at about the 38-yard line. Good ankle tackle by Lance there to prevent him from maybe going the distance because he found it opening up the middle.
Yes, I talked with Coach Hamilton of the Rockets, and he said LaFave would be one of his key players, and he did a good job there.
How many kids do you know in Central Illinois that have the first name Jacques?
Oh, not any in this school, but
I mean, it's just like the French name. It is French, obviously. Or is it Canadian, French-Canadian? I don't know.
Could
From the
be.
39-yard line, 1st and 10. They'll hand it off. A little bit of an opening up the middle this time into the secondary. Unity may get it right back. The Maroons will have to chase him down. 30, 25, good speed, and brought down to the 10-yard line. The Rockets will be 1st and goal inside the 10. I think that was Eric Temple, although they have a number difference here in my program, and I'm not absolutely sure, but he found the opening and went outside and got it all the way down to the Maroons, about 9.5-yard line before he's drugged down from behind by, I believe it was Randy Rich who finally caught up with him.
yes, Randy did a nice job. He didn't give up at any point in that run, and he really did a good job. I don't like to see that big of a hole ripped up on the defensive line, though.
Well, the Rockets trying to come right back after the Maroons touchdown. Clinton leads 7-0, but the Rockets with 1st and goal, we'll call it at the 9-yard line. It's more like the 9.5-yard line. They're just inside the 10. Their quarterback, Allison, has them up to the line of scrimmage. Again, a man will go in motion, then try to reverse his field, and they're bottled up on the handoff, and Reinhardt will be swarmed under by the Maroons' interior line. Several guys in on that tackle. They got in and on it quickly and shut it down. And Ross Watland leading the charge. And a loss of 2 yards on the play back to the 11-yard line. 2nd and goal coming up for Unity.
That's more what Maroons fans are accustomed to seeing. It was a nice swarm up the middle, and they just stopped that run before it even started.
They'll send a man wide to the left side of the field. And J.D. Ellers, another man inside of him, and one man in the slot on the left-hand side. One lone back in the backfield, and Reinhardt, another man wide to the right side as they spread the field. And on 2nd down, option left. He'll pitch at the last second. Reinhardt has it, has a block out front, cuts for the corner. He's going to go in for the score. And Unity has come right back to cut the gap to a 1-point lead for Clinton on that touchdown run. Reinhardt got a key block out front. Somebody got turned inside, and there was no room for anybody to get outside and cut him down. So it's an 11-yard touchdown run for Reinhardt of Unity.
Well, Tolono quickly takes the wind out of the sail of the Maroons as they march right back down the field and slapped them in the face a little bit, saying, we're game for your challenge. And big hole on that left side, and he just ran right around it for the score.
They're going to go for 2. This is Unity's 2nd possession of the ball game. They have scored to make it a 7-6 ball game in favor of the Maroons, but they're going to go for 2. Allison under center again. Will fake the handoff to Reinhardt. Now a run with it. He's caught. He pitches at the last second, but the Maroons have this one bottled up, and they will not get the extra point conversion. Well, the Maroons made good penetration. I don't know if it was Lemmel or if it was Earl, exactly who it was who had a hold of the quarterback initially. For those watching on TV, they can pick up the number easily, but I was watching the play and not worrying about uniform numbers, and that initial penetration slowed that down enough that Unity was thwarted on their extra point attempt, so the Maroons retain the lead here.
The Maroons did a great job. That's what you have to do on the option. You have to cover the quarterback and the running back that's trailing behind him for the pitch, and they stopped that run cold, and they have the lead still, so let's hope the offense can come right back down and score again.
Well, Unity answered in only 1 minute and 14 seconds after the touchdown. And they pulled it within 1 point. 7-6 is the score in favor of the Maroons.
And Unity, I don't know, they marched right back down the field. They look pretty fired up over there now. So
yeah, that gets some new life into them, no doubt about that. And they've brought a pretty good crowd for this ball game all the way over to Clinton. Low line drive kick by Unity, taken by Schumacher at the 21. He's across the 30, trying to cut outside, finds some running room, looks before a block, still cuts it upfield now, and gets it to about the 38-yard line. Patient run by Ryan, and he found some yardage by doing it that way instead of just charging into the on-rushing defenders for Unity. And the Maroons, again, will have pretty good field position for their second drive of the ball game.
He did a good job there. He just followed his blocking, and it took him somewhere. That was just a good run as the blocking held on that left side, and now I hope the Maroons can start something on offense once again.
Well, they moved the ball well on their first drive that started at their own 34-yard line. This time to 39. Wilson on the first down. Keeps his feet, breaks some tackles, has first down yardage into Unity territory to the 49-yard line. That's the way the Maroons like to have their fullbacks run, with their head down, plowing forward, breaking ankle tackles, and just keeping the momentum going. And they got about 12 yards on that run. They're going to mark it closer to midfield, so maybe only 11 as it turned out. Right at the midfield stripe, 1st and 10 for Clinton.
That was a good run for Jeff Wilson. It was right again. It was right up the middle, and the Maroons are getting good holes protected for those running backs.
Sam's option right with the football. Keeps it, cuts it up. Stutter steps, gets outside, and then his ankle tackled as he gets inside the 40-yard line down to about the 37 or almost the 36-yard line. A saving tackle by the last man for Unity that time in the secondary, who kept his feet nicely. Thaddeus Bates made the ankle saving tackle on Sam.
Nate showed his athletic ability. He had a hole in the line, and then he just dodged a few tacklers. A guy tried to ankle tackle him, but he told he would have none of that. And he got a good pickup of 14 there.
Near the 37 of Unity after 2 quick first downs. The Maroons on the drive again. Sams will hand it off again. Wilson up the middle. Is grabbed from behind and then got some help from Reinhardt as number 60, Dave Mannon, had a hold of him and pulled him back and brought him down. A gain of maybe 3 or 4 yards on the play. We'll see how much forward progress they gave him. To the 32-yard line, they'll spot it. A gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up for Clinton. Igems is in there right now. Bob Igems going wide to the right side. Lance Taylor goes wide to the left side. The I formation of Wilson and Connolly in the backfield behind Nate Sams. On the 2nd and 5, the quick pitch. Connolly trying to get outside. Beats one tackler, then cuts inside another. Has first down yardage. Still on his feet. He's inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. That's a nice-looking run by Ryan Connolly. Not his longest of the year by any means. He had some longer runs in the last ball game, but he had guys that got up on him pretty quickly, and he evaded those tacklers nicely with some nice moves.
He showed his speed as he just ran around them, and that was a good job by Connolly. As you know, it didn't look too good at the start of the play, but he ran just right around those tacklers.
18-yard line, 1st and 10 for Clinton. Wilson again, a quick one up the middle, still on his feet. Good hard running and a penalty flag on the play. I hope this isn't a holding call, but we'll wait and see. It's a face mask penalty against Unity. That's the other possibility that I was thinking of, and that is the cause. Wilson was being tackled. Somebody got a hold of that face mask. He picked up about 3 yards on the run, at least 2, maybe almost 3, but the Maroons are going to get a first down on this. They'll get half the distance to the goal line and an automatic first down, I would believe, from where the infraction occurred. The flag is thrown in the vicinity of the 18 or 17-yard line. That should put them inside the 10 and 1st and goal from about the 9-yard line. And again, the Maroons offense moving the ball down the football field.
This looks like it could turn out to be a pretty high-scoring game as both teams are getting huge chunks of yardage on their offensive plays. And I hope the Maroons can punch it in here.
Bob Igems shuttles the play in from Brian Knutson. Brings it into the center of the field to relay it to their team. A wonderful man, Brian Knutson. You couldn't ask for just a more likable guy. He's not wacky at all. Here's Ryan Connolly, gets the handoff, jumps over a pile at the line of scrimmage and gets it down close to the 5-yard line. You know what I heard? He thought we didn't like him because we called him wacky last week.
Well, that was a bad choice of words. I was just grasping for some words, and you know, that one came out. It's really not my first choice.
He's not wacky at all. No, he's not wacky. He's a very common person. Very common, yeah. Just a normal type of guy. Just an average Joe.
But he calls this offense well.
2nd and goal from the 5. I won't argue with that. Sam spins, runs it out left side, stumbles a bit, stays on his feet, gets it down to the 4s. He's caught around the ankles by Unity's Jacques Lefebvre. He's in on a lot of tackles. I know last week he had several in the Monticello ball game, and he's showing he likes to play defense out here in this ball game. It's going to be a 3rd. They got 2nd on the yard marker, but it should be 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line for the Maroons coming up.
Lefebvre is a big man for this Tolono team. He had a interception and a fumble recovery last week.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is second down. I thought we had an automatic first down. Did I lose track already? I don't know.
That's okay, Larry.
Is it really? Come on, you're supposed to
Mistakes.
correct me when that happens. Second down and goal from the 4. Wilson trying the right side. He stood up and pushed back. I think he got it to about the 3-yard line, but we'll see how much forward progress they gave him. Steve Hall, who comes in here a senior at 5'11", 160 pounds, did a good job meeting up with Wilson and pushing him back, and very little gain on that play. So now we'll be at the 3rd down and goal from near the 4-yard line.
That was a good surge by the Tolono defense as they stopped Wilson cold, and they just stood him up, as you said. And Tolono will take a timeout now.
We'll take a timeout also. Timeout on the field. There's 2:52 to go in the first quarter of play. We've got a good one so far. Clinton leads by 1 over Unity by a score of 7-6.
The Clinton Daily Journal brings hometown news to you Monday through Friday. If you haven't tried the Journal lately, pick up a copy and discover city council and school board news, who, what, where, and when, Farm Bureau, YMCA, and library features, up-to-the-minute sports coverage, high-impact classified ads, business and service guides, and much, much more. Call today, 935-3171, to subscribe to your hometown news.
All right, the coaches have had a chance to talk with their teams. We'll see what the Maroons do here on 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line. The Maroons have a mixed bag of tricks that they can go to here, or something just plain normal out of a normal guy. Coach Brian Knudsen, I better cut it out. Big play here, 3rd and goal from the 4. Sam's under center. He's going to roll out right, running with the football. They come up and meet him. He stays on his feet, gets it down to the 3. He wanted to run or possibly pitch there, but couldn't get the pitch away, and Unity's doing a good job defensively on their goal line defense. They're forcing the Maroons into a 4th down and goal, and they gave them forward progress to the 2, but now the Maroons must score here, obviously, or give the football back to Unity.
Well, anytime the Maroons are running east and west instead of north and south, it's a bad thing, because just spreading the ball carrier out instead of going forward, it gives the tacklers more of a chance to catch up to the running back.
Crowd getting into it a little bit here on 4th and goal from the 2. Sam's up under center again, but there's a flag thrown before the snap of the football, and what is this? Somebody line up incorrectly, or he's talking to the center, and the center, I don't know, did he improperly handle the football? It's a procedure penalty. He went up and talked. Yeah, I don't know. He went right up to the center and talked to the center after he had thrown the flag. Ross Wantland is the center, of course, for the Maroons. And apparently, I don't know if it was the way that Ross picked up the football before he snapped it or what, but what a key time to have this penalty pointed out by the official. You know, I can't believe it's the first time he's done whatever he just did.
Yeah.
But maybe it is. So this makes it a lot different call.
Once again, penalties hurt.
4th and goal now from the 7-yard line. Sams is going to roll out left and try to throw. His receiver fell down. So Sams is going to run. He's back up. Schumacher catches a touchdown!
That was a good play by Nate. He had the patience of waiting for his wide receiver to get back up. And that shows his maturity right there. What a good job by Nate Sams.
The man he was looking for, who I believe was Schumacher, although I didn't, of course, look to see who exactly it was, fell down, but got tangled up with a defender, and somebody fell down along the line of scrimmage right when Nate was starting to pull the trigger. He pulled the ball back in, continued to roll out to his left, and he had 2 guys out there, including Schumacher, of course, and he led him perfectly. Did you see the way he led him? And Schumacher, a great diving catch just in bounds. Here's the extra point attempt coming up. Placement's down. Court's kick is on the way. It is good again. And the Maroons, 2 touchdowns in their first 2 drives, although they had to score on a 4th down and 7 for the second one. And a great pass play, Sams to Schumacher. They lead 14-6. Back with more in just a moment.
Pain pills are a common thing with people who feel they have no place left to turn. Pills for your backaches, for that headache, pills for your sinuses. You've been to your doctor. He doesn't know what else to do. So you keep on taking pills. But pills don't have to be a part of your life, and neither does pain. Your backache or headache can be relieved without surgery and without drugs. At the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic in Clinton, Dr. Harold Allen will diagnose the cause of your pain, and once you find the cause, you can usually find the cure. Pain is not normal. Something can be done about it. Call the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic at 935-6842. We relieve pain.
Here's a return for Unity. Again, it's LaFleur bringing it up the middle of the field, brought down at about the 35-yard line. Unity's return out to the 35-yard line, and the Rockets will start 1st and 10 from there after the third kickoff of the ball game by the Maroons' Carl Courts. We're down to a minute and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Maroons lead 14-6, and what a terrific play by Sams and Schumacher on that pass play for the touchdown. Just a great senior-like move on the part of Nate Sams, even though he's a junior, the way he patiently waited for his receiver to get back up and get in position to make the catch. We'll talk more about that after this first down play by Unity. But it's just the coolness out there and the fine throwing touch he showed on that, too. They want to pitch it back. It's fumbled on the ground, bobbled. Will the Maroons recover it? It looks like they got a man there. Let's wait and see. Will the officials give it to them? Not yet, no. The scramble, it's going to go to the Rockets. Boy, that play was bottled up from the start. The quarterback, Allison, was hit when he tried to make a wild pitch back to the running back in the backfield that time, who was Steve Hall. But what about that pass play for the touchdown?
He really threw a perfect pass there. He threw it to where only the wide receiver could catch it or it'd be incomplete. He threw it to where nobody could intercept it, and that was just a great play by Nate.
On a 4th down and goal from the 7-yard line. Now Unity lost a yard on that first down play, so they're faced with a 2nd and 11 at their own 34-yard line. And Brady Allison, he'll hand it off to the deep man. He's bottled up immediately by Wilson. Wilson hanging on, gets help from Ijems and from Watland. And a gain of maybe 2 yards on the play before Temple's brought down. He's the one that broke the long run earlier down inside the 10-yard line on that last drive by Unity, but they contained him that time. 3rd and a long 8 coming up now for the Rockets with less than 40 seconds to go in the first quarter.
The Maroons did a good job on the misdirection there as they tried an end around. And do you think Schumacher and Nate are getting pretty acquainted there, passing, catching there?
Well, I think they've been rather well acquainted for many years now in lots of other sports and other activities over the years, whether it be baseball or, in Corey League or whatever the case may be. And those guys have played together in so many sports, they just know each other. Under some pressure, Allison airing it out down the sideline and almost caught. Good close coverage by Randy Rich. And he was right on top of the man, very close. As a matter of fact, the Unity coach over there thought his receiver was bumped and might have been a penalty, but J.D. Eller's got no call on the far sideline. It goes incomplete, 4th down coming up.
Well, that was the first pass, and the Maroons did a good job on the pass defense, and Randy was stride for stride with that wide receiver, and it was just a good play by the Maroons defense, and they have stopped Tolono once again.
For the 2nd time of the ball game, Unity did score on their 2nd possession. 7 seconds remaining for this first period, so we'll assume that this punt will consume the final seconds of this first quarter. Clinton is leading 14-6. And Reinhardt back to make the punt. High snap, but he gets it under some pressure by Earl. Gets a high kick away. The Maroons fair catch. Schumacher bobbles it. It's loose on the ground. Look out here. Who's going to get the football? I think the Maroons got it back. We'll wait for the official signal. The time has run out in the first quarter. The Maroons have recovered the loose ball, and it was Bob Ijems, I believe, the man that was heads up, yes it was, that recovered the football for Clinton. So we'll come back with quarter number 2 in just a moment. Clinton will have the football again, and they're leading 14-6.
It's 1:47 on a Thursday afternoon, and you need to get to the bank. Why worry? The John Warner Bank lobby is open until 3 p.m. every day during the week, including Thursday afternoons. And for those of you who find 3 a little early and need to see us before our Friday and Saturday weekend hours, our drive-up is there for you every Monday through Friday evening until 6 p.m.
Probably umpiring had a lot to do with the success of Sams and Schumacher and things like Corey League, guys like Doug Neuschwander helping them improve their skills.
Although Doug was harassing you a little bit ago.
Doug would never harass me. No, never. He's one of those people out here in the stands with the headphones on, listening to the broadcast while he watches the game. Tell me, Doug, do you find that to be, an asset in watching a Clinton High School ball game, to be able to hear our play-by-play and our coverage here? Except when I tell the wrong down. Yeah, I know that's not very helpful, is it? And then there's the people that line up along the fence in their car and watch the game from over there and listen on the radio over there.
We'd like to say hello to those people and keep on listening.
Including my son, Colin, who's restricted to the vehicle tonight, not allowed to come out in the stands until he settles down a little bit. Now, Colin, if you settle down, you can sit here in the stands and watch the game. Are you listening to me? Is it okay for me to give a message like that over the radio?
Well, if it wasn't, then you're in trouble.
You know, he's only 17 years old. You'd think he'd settle down by now and be able to, you know, behave himself. No, he's only 3, really. Before we get the second quarter underway, and the Maroons will be moving toward the north goal, we have an official timeout on the field.
But he's very mature for a 3-year-old.
How do you know that?
Well, I met him once. He seemed pretty good-natured in WHOW.
Look, there they are right now. Colin, we've got you on TV, guys. He was sitting there looking out the windshield of the vehicle. What do we got here? Coach Chuck Nagel is going over to the far sideline, so we've got some kind of problem over near the Unity bench. And I have no idea what this is. Maybe our cameras can kind of close in on this situation, but we're just getting ready to start the second quarter of play. Clinton is leading 14-6, and Chuck kind of looks down as he comes back.
I didn't see
the official was over there too. I don't know.
I didn't see what the commotion was about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a fan or something. I don't know.
It'll be a possible question for the coach tomorrow, if I can remember that among all my many questions that I'll want to ask in a 15-minute period. And the time goes fast on Coach's Corner. Now we got somebody going back. One of their coaches is going back over toward the fence to talk to somebody behind the fence, like a parent or something. I don't know what's going on here. Back to action. Maroons with the football. First down, and Connolly gets the call. Got very little yardage on the first down play to the 37-yard line. Might have picked up a yard or two, depending upon the forward progress the officials give him. About a 1.5 yard gain. It'll be second and actually about 9 yards ago for a first down for the Maroons. Hey, what happened to the Illini last night? I mean, you know, aren't they supposed to win games like against Washington State?
Well, I think the offense didn't show up, basically.
Sam's back to pass. He's going to loop it down the sideline for Taylor, but threw it behind him. And Lance looking over his right shoulder, then at the last second had to look back over his left shoulder. Not a bad-looking throw by Nate Sams, but just didn't lead him enough downfield. Had it more over toward the sideline. It goes incomplete, but an interesting call by Brian Knutson on the second down and long.
I'm not going to touch that one.
No, please don't.
For the sake of Brian Knutson
I think it's a good call. It's a great call.
I do, too.
Sincerely, I do.
Lance just didn't see the ball.
3rd and 9. Sam's back to pass again. Just dumps it off to Wilson. He drops it. It's an incomplete pass. It was a forward pass, and he wasn't able to handle it. And it's 4th down. The Maroons are going to have to punt the ball for the first time in this ball game.
Well, that was just really a broken play. It was slow developing and a bad pass, and that was just thrown behind Wilson.
By the way, clarification last week when we had what we thought was possibly a forward lateral, but the officials did not call a penalty. Do you recall that play down here on the left sideline? The Maroons got first down yardage on. The officials ruled that was a forward pass, that Sams was still behind the line of scrimmage. And I wondered about that because he had run upfield some, and he was very close to being over the line of scrimmage. But it was ruled a forward pass and a completion, and that's why there was no penalty flag. Good bounce on the punt for the Maroons. Rolls inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. So Unity will have to start rather deep in their own territory now at their own 18-yard line. But I just wanted to point that out for fans who saw that on the replay. And we were kind of speculating, now, wait a second, did the Maroons get away with something there? Yes, they did, but no, they didn't. I mean, it was a legal play in the officials' eyes. Sams was still behind the line of scrimmage when he pitched it forward, which he did, which we thought he did, and it was just ruled a forward pass completion.
Yes, but the referees are doing a good job out there. It evened it out. The calls evened themselves out last week. Tough for me to say, but...
We're early in the second quarter of play. Clinton is leading 14-6 in Unity with the football at their own 18-yard line. Their quarterback, Brady Allison, who has struggled lately against this Maroons defense. They scored on their second drive, but he has had some pressure on him. He gets the handoff, fumble on the ground. Oh, and Unity got it back. Boy, the Maroons had a shirt there, but the ball carrier just got back to it just in a nick of time and saved that from being another turnover. I tell you what, the Maroons are putting some hits on out there, and they had the ball out of the hands of Eric Temple for a little bit, but he got it back.
Once again, it was just a bad pass on the option, or a bad shovel pass out there, and
I thought he had it cleanly. It was a little difficult to tell, but from my perspective, I thought he had it cleanly, and then somebody at that line of scrimmage had jarred the ball out of his hands. Very little gain on the play, though. But they have had some risky, as you said, laterals or pitches and some handoffs that have gotten away a little bit, too. Under pressure again, he's grabbed. He's going to be dragged down, and that's Ross Wanlin, who fires through there and grabs Allison down for a loss on the play. He was trying to go to the right-hand side, I guess, on an option, or you better roll out to throw to the right-hand side, but he wasn't very far along before Wanlin was around his waist, swinging him around and threw him down for about a 5-yard loss on the play, back to the 12.
Yes, it was a designed roll right. I think they were trying to hit a man on the sidelines over there, and Ross said, just don't come over here again, basically.
Don't come my way. One wide receiver to the left-hand side, another wide to the right-hand side. That's Lefebvre over there on the right-hand side, and I think they like to try to throw to him if they get the chance, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's a throwing down, 3rd and 15 for Unity. Man in motion, heavy pressure coming as they try to hand up the middle, and nothing there. Another loss on the play as the Maroons are on it. I think it was Earl that was the first man there to make the tackle on the play. The 6-foot, 190-pound senior middle interior lineman now, who used to be an end for the Maroons, but Brad has converted nicely to that position, and a loss of about 4 more yards. It's 4th and almost 20 coming up for Unity.
Once again, it was a team effort as a bunch of the Maroons swarmed to the ball. I think maybe 3 or 4. And as you said, Brad got there first. It was just another great play by the defense.
Reinhardt standing in the middle of the end zone, about 5 yards deep, ready to wait this snap. Remember, the last one was kind of high. He had to jump up for it. This one a little high, too, but he pulls it down, gets the kick away. Maroons should get great field position. Igens over in front of the Unity bench will watch it sail out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. That's a pretty good punt from the end zone. And 1st and 10 for the Maroons at the 39 of Unity. Great field position, and we need to knock another one in here right now and go up by 2 touchdowns. We're up by just 1 right now, 14-6 over the Rockets.
Yes, well, the Maroons have been moving the ball well, and we talked about this last week. We didn't think that would be a problem this year. The defense had, offense and defense had a little questions in experience, but I think the Maroons are quickly telling people that that's not going to be a problem this year.
1 man on the slot left-hand side, 2 running backs, and Sam's option being forced deep. He's in trouble. He's going to be sacked for a big loss on the play. Option run. He couldn't get the ball to his tailback, Connolly, who had run way ahead of him, and he couldn't pitch it to him. And Nate just had to eat the football. You could tell he was looking, Ryan, wait. And I want to get the ball to you, but he couldn't do so because one of their men had poured through there. I believe that was Ryan Rich, possibly, who had come through there and grabbed him and threw him down for about a 7-yard loss on the play. The Maroons are back now to their own 47-yard line.
Once again, Nate showed his experience. He just ate the ball instead of making a risky play. 2nd and
18, misdirection, and Igens is nailed for a loss. Here's a flag on the play, however.
I think it's a face mask. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. It was thrown in the vicinity of where the tackle was made, and it is a face mask penalty. It was a good, strong tackle. I couldn't see if the hand grabbed the mask or not, and that guy is unhappy, very unhappy out there. Chuck Black, who's listed at 235 pounds, and he's every bit of that at 6 feet tall, and a junior for Unity, came in and rode Bob down from behind, but grabbed a hold of that mask at the 50-yard line, so they'll mark off 15 yards from the 50. The Maroons will not have a first down. They'll be at the 35-yard line and still have 7 yards to go for a first down.
Well, I just thought it was a face mask because you could kind of see Bobby's head pop back a little bit, and that usually indicates that the face mask has been touched. And, you know, that didn't look real bad, but the referees caught it nonetheless.
Anytime they grab a hold of that mask, though, that should be the call, and it was.
Yes,
down to about 8:20 before halftime. Maroons leading 14-6, and with the football at the 35. Wilson will get the call up the middle. Grabbed around the ankles, and all he could do was try to fall forward because that man wouldn't let go for Unity that had him down low. Dave Mannon with the tackle. A gain of a yard, or just about a yard. It's 3rd down and still 5 to go for the Maroons. The yards are coming a lot harder now on this particular drive for Clinton because they started right about this position, actually 5 yards deeper at the 39, and they've only gotten to the 34. They had a 15-yard penalty thrown in there. 3rd and 5. Sam's dropping back under some pressure, steps up in the pocket, has an opening, fires it downfield. Igens goes open, 5, touchdown!
Once again, another perfect pass.
Oh, it was. Bob Igens had gotten behind his defender, lost him by a good 5 yards, and Nate, it just shows his experience and his cool-headedness at the quarterback spot because he had a man coming in on him a little bit, although he had a blocker in front to help him out, but there was some pressure from Ryan Rich of Unity coming in from the outside, so he simply stepped up in the pocket and then took aim, led Igens beautifully, and Bob made the catch at the 5-yard line, and he could just walk into the end zone from there. So it's a 34-yard touchdown pass play for the Maroons, and now the kick by Courts is up and good. And with 7 minutes and 44 seconds to go before halftime, Clinton now leads Unity by a score of 21-6. Back with the Clinton kickoff in a moment.
Walker Tire is a proud sponsor of the Clinton Maroons. Serving the community for 10 years, Walker Tire provides complete on-the-farm service, including exhaust systems, brakes, front-end alignment, belts, hoses, and minor repair on all makes and models. At Walker Tire, 400 Illini Drive in Clinton and Route 54 West in Farmer City, 2 service trucks stand ready to serve your every need. Call Dave or Phil at 935-8923 for all of your tire and exhaust needs. At Walker Tire, the motto is, invite us to your next flat.
Well, the offense only put 14 points on the board last week, and the defense of Tolono Unity gave up none to Monticello last week. But Clinton has scored 3 touchdowns here in less than a quarter and a half so far of the ball game tonight, as they lead 21-6, and 2 of them pass plays. And that time, Nate Sams picking out Bob Igems. Bob Igems gets his first touchdown of the year on that one.
Yeah, Nate, once again, with another great pass as he put a little float underneath it, put a little air underneath it, let Bobby run under it, and it was just another good play.
Here's Carl Kortz, the senior kicker for the Maroons, who hit the end zone with one of his kicks last week, the last one of the ball game, I believe it was. This one's not going to get that far. It'll come down at about the 12, 13-yard line. Again, it's LaFleur up the middle. Who breaks the tackle, stays on his feet, and then Lance Taylor hangs on to him with some help from Ross Wantland and others, and they bring him down out at about the 37-yard line. Bob Igems in on the tackle also. Ryan Schumacher was there. We're trying to give some of these guys credit now as we learn their uniform numbers here in Game 2 of the year. So 1st and 10 for Unity at about their own 38-yard line, it looks like.
Yes, LaFave has looked rather good on those run backs, as he's breaking just about every first tackler there on.
Well, he's getting a lot of practice tonight.
Yeah.
I think that's 4 returns now in this ball game. The opening kickoff and then 3 after the 3 Maroon touchdowns.
And you like to see that. It shows that you're putting points up on the board.
See what this Maroon defense can do again with Unity. They bottled them up the last couple of times very nicely. See if they can continue that trend. Brady Allison. See if they go to the air a little bit more now. They've kept it on the ground. A bobbled snap. Is the ball still loose on the ground? And who recovered it? I think Clinton's got the fumble. The first man there was Ross Wantland. Brad Earl was there also, but the quarterback could never get to the ball. It was a fumbled snap from center to quarterback. You could see Allison. He was trying to get down, but his center was being pushed back by the charge of the Maroons' defensive line. He couldn't get down to get on top of the football.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's rather surprising for the second week. You'd think they'd have that snapped down, but just a good play for the Maroons there.
Clinton's at the 34-yard line with another 1st and 10. Sams will option right. He's cut from behind. He struggles. He falls down. The ball is loose and recovered. I thought he was down. I thought his knee was down anyway, but fortunately, one of the Maroons was Johnny on the spot, and that was Ryan Schumacher, who hustled back to recover the fumble by Sams. Again, it looked like to me that Nate Cotton Trouble was looking for Ryan to pitch the ball to Ryan Connolly, and Ryan had gotten up too far ahead of him. He couldn't make the pitch to him.
Yeah, their spacing on the last 2 options they've tried to run to the right side has been a little off, and that's why they have had the big losses.
Back to the 43-yard line, so it's 2nd and 19 again for the Maroons, but he drew him across the line of scrimmage. 2 of them jumped for Unity that time, so he gets 5 back. Oh, that's great leadership on the football field when you can do that to your opponent. Lyndon Mumm, who's 6'2", 265, and a junior. He's a big guy, along with Chuck Black. We mentioned him earlier, who's 235 and a junior. Well, they've got some size coming back next year, don't they? Anyway, those were the 2 guys that got a little anxious and jumped in there in the neutral zone.
Well, that isn't the first time Nate's done that, as he did that well against Olympia last week. And hopefully picking up 5 yards there, they can get a few more here and get a first down, keep the drive going.
Jamie Queer is wide to the left-hand side I formation this time. First man is Wilson. He's got an opening. He's down to the 32-yard line before he's grabbed by one of the secondary people and spun down by Steve Hall. But that was a quick pop for 4 or 5 yards. And the Maroons are down to the 32, as we said. That should bring up a... Okay, I got to be careful here. I don't want to mess up the downs again. 3rd down.
It's okay, Larry.
Thank you, Doug. Doug's helping me out here. The noosh helping me out. And, 3rd and 7 coming up for Clinton.
You look over there, that big orange 3 tells you the down.
Well, he hadn't changed it yet. He still had it on a 2. That's why I was hesitating. There was a method to my manner there, I guess.
Sorry.
Back to pass to Sams. He's under pressure, unloads at the last second. It's a bad pass. It's going to drop well short of anyone. Nate was under a lot of pressure that time from Ryan Rich, who was pouring in on him. That pass was intended for Van Fossen, who had gone deep, Shane Van Fossen, but it was way behind him. Unfortunately, the white shirts couldn't get to it either. I was scared to death they were going to pick that one off. Maroons have 4th down, and they're going to use a timeout here. This is too far out for any field goal attempt, obviously. It would be nearly a 50-yard field goal. So they're going to go for it, but not until they have a chance to talk it over. Why don't we keep it here? We've gotten plenty of commercial breaks with all the scores by the Maroons tonight. We're down to 5 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter play. So moving in on halftime, Maroons leading 21-6. And I was just noting that. What a great crowd we have here for this ball game again this week. They were very happy with the turnout last week, and not only just the fact that folks showed up for the ball game last week, but the way they reacted to that ball game and supported the Maroons. And not only it's not just fun to look at the stands here and the crowd along the fence and see all the people here, but I like looking at the parking lot out there, overflow parking out there. They're going to have to get some traffic directors out there, I'm sure, after the ball game to help people get out of here because there's so many people here.
Well, I interviewed Dave Lemmel, and that'll be on at halftime. And he said that one of the most important things to him and to the game last week was such a big crowd, and it kept the Maroons going through the whole game. And, you know, it excites them, believe it or not. And they said that's very important, and they hope that the crowd support keeps on coming game after game.
Another home game next week, the first conference game of the year, Warrensburg-Latham next Friday night. Now, 4th and 7 for the Maroons. They snap it all the way back to Schumacher. He's got time. He unloads it deep downfield. It's going to be short of the intended receiver, but Lance Taylor tries to get to it and cannot make the catch as he goes up high over a defender, and they call a penalty on Lance Taylor. They say he interfered with the Unity player. He had to go up. He was just trying to go for the football, but they say that he interfered with Thaddeus Bates, who had the inside position on that pass. Well, a little trickery there. Snapped directly back to Ryan Schumacher, who's lined up in the backfield at the tailback spot that time, and Ryan tried to unload it. I think he can throw the ball better and farther than he did on that one. That one slipped out of his hand a little bit, it looked like to me.
He was the JV quarterback last year, and he did a good job last year as their quarterback. That play, the ball hung up there a little bit, but I really don't think Lance had a penalty there, but it looked to me like he was just going for the ball, but I don't know.
Either way, either incomplete or penalty, Unity's going to get the football.
Yeah.
But the call does affect where they're going to get the ball. Actually, they'd be better off getting it, I think, at the line of scrimmage than getting it where the penalty occurred, or is that the way it occurs when they have offensive pass interference? We'll wait and see how the officials rule it. They will decline a penalty, and that is the right call for them to make. They'll get the ball back at the line of scrimmage. I think instead they would have had to have marked it off from where the infraction occurred, which I think was down about the 6-yard line or so, mark off 15 yards, and they would have only got it at the 21-yard line. So instead they'll get it at the 31-yard line. Whew, 1st and 10 for Unity. I'm worn out after trying to explain it all. 5.5 minutes ago before halftime. 21-6, Clinton with the lead. Unity scored easily on their second possession, but other than that, the Maroons have handled them pretty well. And they had a couple of men in motion that time. This is not the Canadian Football League. That will not work. Flags are thrown, and very little gain on the play anyway. Maybe no gain.
I think there's motion on the line before the play started for Tolono.
I thought I saw two wide receivers in motion, or two potential receivers in motion on that. You know, in the Canadian Football League, you can run guys all over the place before the snap of the football, it seems like.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an expert on Canadian football. I'm sure you are.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's the deal with the attire this week? Last week it was Blackhawks hockey jersey. This week you're in your Bears sweatshirt and your Bears cap. Now, I mean, you're going to be in different outfits every week, or what's going on?
Well, I try to mix it up here. The Bears are going to destroy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this weekend.
Yeah, so what?
So
doesn't everybody else?
Well,
right?
Well,
1st and 15. I mean, I'm a Bears fan, but big deal. 26-yard line, quick pitch. They'll run it right side. Reinhardt has a bit of an opening, gets outside, trying to get around the corner. Schumacher comes out there and knocks him down. They did get nearly 10 yards on the play, but since it was a 1st and 15, they'll be still a good 5 yards short of a first down. So, you know, big deal. But you're wearing this in honor of the Bears opening game Sunday is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, the Buccaneers beat some teams last year.
They beat the Bears.
Yeah.
They beat the Bears at Tampa Bay.
And they beat Detroit at Tampa Bay and some other
But so what if they if the Bears annihilate the Bucks? I mean, you know, big deal, right?
Well, it's very important to me because the Illini were supposed to annihilate Washington State.
Beat the 49ers. Beat the Cowboys. Beat, I don't know, beat the Packers. Beat somebody, all right? You know, but I think the Bears will win some ball games. Look like possibly the Maroons jump, but they let it go, and they'll run it, and Reinhardt got about 3, maybe 4 more yards. What'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say? Did you say something about the Illini? Did you throw something out there?
Yeah, they were supposed to beat Washington State pretty good, and they didn't.
Right, if they had beaten Washington State, I would have said big deal. But they didn't. What the heck happened? 3rd and 1, about 1.5 to go for Unity. They're out at their own 40, just across their own 40-yard line, closer to the 41. We're down to 4:10 to go in the second quarter of play. And Unity trying to get a drive together here. They haven't been able to move the ball too much. They send 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. 1 lone back with 2 wingbacks here.
Yeah, other than Temple's big run.
Yeah, they got an opening up the middle this time and up for a first down. Momentarily, it closed up quickly, but not until Reinhardt gets the first down carry of about 3 yards or so. And, you know, on the tackle, getting some playing time is Josh Wilson. We mentioned him earlier. He's gotten some playing time at the fullback spot to spell Jeff Wilson, and he's also doing it here on defense. Hopefully Jeff is okay. I'm kind of looking for him to see where he's at right now. Yeah, he's standing behind the Maroons along the sideline. I think the legs are bothering him a little bit, and he's got one of the trainers talking to him right now.
Yeah, you definitely want to see Jeff back out there pretty soon.
1st and 10 for Unity at their own 44-yard line. They've got time to move the football down the field. Under some pressure, and Allison throws, gets the completion, and out of bounds near midfield. About 3 or 4 yards short of the first down as Lefebvre made the catch on the far side of the football field. That was a good quick out pattern for a quick pickup of about 5 yards is more accurate. So 2nd and 5 coming up for Unity as they're very close to midfield, really close to their 49-yard line.
Yeah, that was just a designed out pattern, really quick play, and get some yardage on first down, and Lefebvre did a nice job there. He is supposed to be their premier wide receiver.
They might hold Wilson out at least for the rest of this second quarter. He stands along the sideline. I think his right leg's bothering him a little bit, the way he's walking around down there, kind of gingerly.
You don't want him hurt in the second game of the season.
No, don't need that at all. They'll try to run on 2nd down, and with a little bit of running room before Bob Igens came up and really put a charge into Temple, the ball carrier that time, Eric Temple, and pushed him back a couple of yards. They gave him forward progress to about the 49 of the Maroons. 3rd and 3 coming up. Good solid hit by Bob Igens.
Yeah, Bob Igens, one of the experienced hard hitters off last year's team, came in and really gave it to Temple there, and it was a nice play by Bob as he was coming up from his safety position.
This game being, of course, broadcast live on WHOW-FM this evening and also being videotaped for replay on Clinton Cable TV. Next week we'll give you the times you can watch it in just a moment. 3rd and 3 now for Unity. Brady Allison will hand it off. Will they get the first down? It doesn't look like it. The Maroons really come up there and slow that one down, and Josh Wilson, who's in there at the linebacker spot, the last man to let go of Reinhardt, and he did not make the first down. He only got about a yard to the 48. They've got a 4th and 2 and a tough call here. They'd like to keep the ball, but they've got 2.5 minutes, and they're only at the 48-yard line of the Maroons, but it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, but if they don't get it, the Maroons can look forward to good field position.
Reinhardt is their punter also, and he's in there right now. He's going to line up at the tailback spot, but will he drop back and kick the ball here in just a moment? We'll wait and see. They look like they're going to go for it so far.
They might be trying to draw him off sides.
That could be. Stay put, Maroons. Nope, there's the snap. Quarterback will keep it. Oh, he broke one tackle. He's got the first down. He breaks into the clear. He's got a block out front. The Maroons miss another tackle, still on his feet inside the 25, and Allison's all the way down to the 16-yard line. That's a big run for their quarterback, Brady Allison. But keep in mind, he did that all week against Monticello, and that's his first good carry of the ball game tonight. It comes here with down to a minute and 55 to go before halftime. And the Maroons missed some tackles on that. They had chances to grab hold, and they just weren't able to hang on. One man that had a good shot at him was Wes Graves, but Wes just couldn't quite wrap him up to pull him down out here about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Allison just pulled a matador on him and just let him go right by him there. So it was a nice arm tackle try, but yeah, they had a couple like that, but you have to get him with the whole body.
Big first down for Unity. They're at the Maroons' 16-yard line. They'd like to punch one in here before halftime and get back within a touchdown of Clinton. Again, they'll send a man in motion. Temple goes from left to right. Back to pass is Allison. He wings it for deep in the end zone, but the Maroons have a defender there. Oh, what a catch by Unity, and they've got a touchdown. Lefebvre makes the diving catch. I can't believe it. Schumacher went back for the ball. I thought he was going to be able to get to it or knock it down, and all of a sudden, here comes the receiver diving in there and making a fantastic catch. That's one of the best catches I've ever seen, even though it goes for Unity. I am impressed with that catch, and Unity now has 12 points on the board.
When the pass went up, I thought for sure Schumacher was going to pick it off, but he fell down, and the wide receiver just made a great leap and catch over the top of Schumacher.
Well, when he fell down, I thought, well, if he's not going to get it, nobody's going to get to it. And here he came diving through the air to make the catch for the touchdown. They're going to go for 2 on the conversion. They're down to the Maroons 21-12.
Lefebvre came from nowhere. I mean, he
looked like he didn't have a chance, and all of a sudden he was there with the ball in his hands, just above the turf. They draw the Maroons offsides here into the neutral zone, so they'll get half the distance to the goal line, and they'll run their extra point attempt, or their conversion attempt here for 2 from 1.5 yards out instead of from 3 yards out. And the Maroons, which looked like would have a pretty healthy lead, 21-6 at halftime, instead could only be up by 7 here if they get the 2-point conversion. This all coming with 1:32 to go in the half.
That's what passing plays bring to high school. It brings a quick strike attack. And, you hate to see it if you're a Maroons fan.
From 1.5 yards away on the 2-point conversion, Allison sets him down. Long call. Now has the football. Runs right side, pitches. Reinhardt has some blocking out front, and he just makes it in there. The Maroons were there, but I tell you what, that yard and a half made a difference. If they had started at the 3, I don't think he would have made it, but because they started at the 1.5-yard line, he was able to punch it in there. So they get the 2-point conversion, and we still got a ball game. It's just a touchdown lead now for Clinton. We'll take time out on the field with 1:32 to go before halftime. Clinton leads 21-14.
Have declining interest rates forced you to take a pay cut? From 1990 to 1993, interest rates on 6-month CDs fell from 8% to less than 4%, cutting investors' income by more than half. You can protect your income from lower interest rates even if you're retired. Let Edward D. Jones & Company show you how you can increase your income over time. If you're ready for a raise, call Edward D. Jones & Company today. Edward D. Jones & Company, serving individual investors since 1871.
The return for the Clinton Maroons gets it out to about the 36-yard line by Ryan Connolly. He bobbled it momentarily, but then picked it up and got it out to about the 36, maybe 37-yard line. Well, Clinton will have 1:29, no, 1:25 as I look around the pole, the light pole there, to see what they want to do here. Will they be conservative, or will they try to put some more points on the board here?
Well, the way they've been moving, that's still plenty of time.
What will that wacky offensive coach call here? Nate Sams will run it. 3-yard gain up to about the 40-yard line. You know, that looks like a very conservative call there, but those have been sprung both last year and this year for big gains and points in some ball games. Clock running. We're down to a minute to go before halftime.
I'm never going to use the word wacky again.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to run it in the ground or anything. I just, actually, I thought it was kind of funny. Igens and Lance Taylor are wide to the left side. Josh Wilson still in there. He'll lead block for Connolly. He tries to hurdle some men at the line of scrimmage and only got a yard or so. Well, you know, when they go to the locker room here in a second, unless the Maroons strike quickly, the Rockets are going to feel pretty good about themselves. You know, they're going to go to the locker room saying, hey, we're back in this thing. We still got a shot to win this thing. And it wasn't that long ago that the Maroons had gone up by 2 touchdowns. It looked like they were in control.
Yes, Tolono could have got down in the locker room down 15, but now it's only 7. And they're definitely back in this ball game, as they have shown some quick strike ability, as Temple had a 46-yard run there. That keyed him their first touchdown drive. And that pass to LaFave, if he can make catches like that the whole ball game, I don't know.
Well, the big play on that drive, though, was the 4th and 2 at the 48-yard line, in which their quarterback, Brady Allison, found an opening and was able to get all the way down to the 16-yard line to play before the touchdown pass. You know, if the Maroons had stopped that, obviously, we'd be sitting here at halftime now, 21-6 up. But instead, not only did they get the first down, but he put him in scoring position. Then he came right back with that throw that they just got an amazing catch on. Well, they stopped the clock. They took a timeout. Unity did. They think they still got one more crack here, and they called timeout. 34 seconds left. So the Maroons need to get a first down here to keep from having to punt the football. And Sams on a 3rd down and 6, under center. Back, he's going to throw. Under pressure. He's it downfield for Jamie Queer. Deflected. Oh, he almost caught the ball, but it fell out. That one, after a bit of a deflection, I believe, by the defender, it got through Jacob Goldberg and then hit Jamie Queer in the breadbasket at about the 30-yard line and popped out somehow incomplete. Oh, that was close to a reception and a first down at the Unity 30 for Clinton.
Well, Jamie showed good concentration, staying with the ball even after it was batted a little bit by the defensive back. But, you know, it's a play that they'll look back on and say, you know.
Now, what if, but... yeah. As it stands, it'll be a punt for Nate Sams with 28 seconds remaining. Big rush. Nate gets the kick away. Very high kick, not a lot of distance. Fair catch called for, bobbled, but held on to by Eric Temple, and they've got it at the 38-yard line. Flag on the play? Okay, that's what the announcement is. I didn't see it. Coach Nagel's motioning to his team to hang on here. Oh, we've just had an ejection. Oh, my, who is this? Unsportsmanlike conduct and an ejection of who? Of who? Oh, don't tell me it's... I'm going to hang on here. I'm going to wait and see.
No.
What in the world? You've got to be kidding me. I'm just going to wait and see. I want to know exactly what we're talking about here before I even speculate. But if it's what I think it is, this is not good news for the Maroons.
I hope it's not what we heard. I hope
I mean, that's the way the motion looked to me, too. Chuck Nagel is, I think, motioning for a timeout here. There's still 22 seconds on the clock. This could really make a big turn in this ball game if that's the case, and I have no idea what would have caused this, but let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. It's a penalty against the Maroons, obviously. They're marking off yardage against Clinton now, too. Unsportsmanlike conduct, and then he gives, like he wants to hitch a ride, an ejection sign. And Unity's going to have the ball at the 48-yard line of Clinton. I hope I'm interpreting that. Well, actually, I hope I'm interpreting it incorrectly. I haven't seen anybody leave the premises yet, so we'll just wait and see. But my stomach's tied up in knots right now with the thought of what might be occurring here. 22 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that the way you would interpret it, that somebody has been ejected from the ball game for the Clinton Maroons?
Yeah, it would.
Phil says he thought he saw a uniform number, but I hate to speculate on that.
Yeah, it'd be a game-turning decision.
Do you think it's 1 digit or 2 digits? Thank you. He says 2 digits.
Well, we heard it might have been somebody that's rather important to this team, and we hope.
Well, I don't know. Well, that's just speculation. The official was pointing in the vicinity of some of the players, but we didn't know who for sure. So we'll wait and see. Since we don't know, I'm not going to speculate, even though I'm speculating a lot anyway, aren't I? I need to just be quiet. Well, the bottom line is Unity's got another crack here with 22 seconds left before halftime, and they're only trailing by 7 now. And they're at the 48 of the Maroons. He's got some confidence now. He's back to pass. Short pass. Ooh, he underthrew Reinhardt, and he really wasn't under that much pressure because he took such a deep drop. He was trying to draw those linemen in there so that they could get it beyond them and get the ball in the hand of Reinhardt to let him really ramble and run. But he threw it behind him, incomplete. Well, go ahead. Well,
that's the kind of pass you get when you're throwing, going backwards instead of forwards, and that was a risky pass. You have a tendency to underthrow your receiver in a situation like that. That's right. 17 seconds remaining. Unity has a new coach this year, and he comes from a very good program at Hardin Calhoun, I believe it was. Yeah. Hamilton is his name, and obviously he's trying to instill a winning tradition now at Unity, and he's getting off to a pretty good start. Here's a deep pass. Schumacher in the vicinity, knocks it down. He's dealing with a pretty good receiver there that caught the touchdown last time, Lefebvre, and boy, he almost picked that one away from Schumacher, even though Ryan had the good position again that time, but as it goes, it's incomplete. Yeah, Lefebvre tried to get the arms around that ball, too, and
he got close.
And Schumacher just did a great job of getting up there and poking that ball away, because that would have been a big gain for Tolono, and they might have got a score if they completed that pass.
Hey, you have a halftime interview for us coming up, tape recorded earlier this week, is that right?
Yes, I interviewed the big lineman, Dave Lummel.
This will be for our radio listeners only, coming up at halftime. We'll look forward to listening to that during our halftime program. Down to 11 seconds ago. Time for at least one more play. Allison has the reload, fires it over the middle of the field, and a catch is made, breaking in the clear and getting a block, and they're going to score another touchdown. Temple, excuse me, it's not Temple, it's the other man out of the backfield, and Steve Hall. The Maroons looked like they had the coverage that time, but somehow he made the catch on the play out about the 30-yard line and took it all the way for the touchdown, and now Unity is within 1 point of our Clinton Maroons, and time ran out on that play, but they still have a conversion attempt coming up. So we're going to be at least up by 1 point, or maybe tied or down by 1 point when we go to the locker room instead of up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, we said 22 seconds is plenty of time, and that pass, it looked like after he caught it, the Maroon defender just kind of bumped off him or something, and he was just allowed to go free after that point, and it was just a jaunt for him from the 30 to the end zone.
Reinhardt will try the kick for the extra point, it would appear. Snap is back. Placement down. Kick is on the way. It looks good from here. It is. We are at halftime. A touchdown with no time remaining has brought Unity from 2 touchdowns down to dead even with the Clinton Maroons at halftime. And you can imagine Unity's going to the locker room on a high note here. We're tied at 21 apiece. Back with our halftime for you in a moment. All right, we're back here at Clinton High School. We are at halftime. Yes, we are back on TV and radio, and what a first half of play. Not quite the way we wanted it to finish up. It started good. I mean, the first quarter and how about the first 3/4 of the second quarter was pretty much all Clinton. They led 21-6 at one point, but Unity's gotten back into this ball game. And you'd mentioned what a big penalty call that was. I guess an unsportsmanlike call against the Maroons there with 20-some seconds remaining. Unity got the ball after the punt, and then they got an additional 15 yards, and that put them inside Maroon territory. And, boy, they pulled off another big pass play. It looked to me like the Maroons had the defense there and had the ball batted away, but somehow Hall caught it on the run. And once he made that catch, he was off to the races for a touchdown. And Unity goes to the locker room on a real high note, and you know that they got to be feeling much better about themselves than the Maroons going to the locker room, even though we're tied 21-21. And feeling like they can win this ball game now. It's going to be a real test of the Clinton Maroons to regroup now in the locker room at halftime and come back out and pull this one out.
Yeah, the penalty was the big momentum breaker, as that, as you said, put them in Maroon territory with 22 seconds left. And with a receiver like Lefebvre and quarterback like Allison, who can make a quick strike passing play, the game's not finished till zeros on the clock, and they showed the Maroons just why tying it up for halftime.
Well, you know, the defense of the Maroons played so well for most of that first half of play, and with the exception of that one long run, had contained Unity very well, had really bothered Allison. But did you notice on those last two scorers, those last two drives, he looked like a much different quarterback, very confident looking the way he carried himself when he dropped back in the pocket or when he ran with the football. It seemed like that one run he made on that 4th down and 2, when he ran it down to the 16-yard line, just rejuvenated him and got to Brady Allison going the right direction for Unity, and that's when they were able to score the touchdown to pull within 1 right after that, and then the touchdown to tie it up here at halftime.
Yeah, Allison's made some big plays, and if you look about it, the Maroons have contained Tolono for most part of the game. It's just that the big plays have really killed the Maroons so far, as they had a 49-yard pass pattern to tie it up there, and you can't give up those big plays.
42 points scored in this first half of play. Clinton scored first at the 7:28 mark to go in the first quarter when Ryan Conley ran in for 5 yards out on their first drive and completed an opening drive of the ball game for a touchdown. The kick by Carl Kurtz was good, 7-0 in favor of Clinton. Unity came back very quickly. A minute and 14 seconds later, Reinhardt, an 11-yard run for a touchdown. A run for the 2-point conversion was no good, so Clinton led 7-6 at that point. Then the Maroons, late in that first quarter of play, Sams hit Schumacher on a 4th down play of the Maroon zone. We got to go back to that. That was a great 4th down play. Also 4th and 7, or 4th and goal from the 7-yard line. And Sams at the last moment, after his receiver had fallen down, gave him a chance to get back up on his feet, roll out a little farther left, and then led him perfectly for the touchdown pass. And the extra point kick good again. So 14-6 in favor of the Maroons at that point. We go to quarter number 2. Sams hit Bob Igems on a 34-yard touchdown pass over the Tolono Unity defense to get the Maroons up after the kick by Kurtz again, 21-6, and we look like we were rolling along. It's going to be another easy cakewalk, or not another one, but, you know, it looks like a victory. Smooth sailing from there. Thank you. Thank you very much. But Unity, very late, they scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 32 of this first half. Allison hit Lefebvre on that great, that's one of the best catches I've ever seen for a touchdown. 16-yard touchdown pass. They ran for the 2-point conversion. Reinhardt, after another Maroon mistake, a penalty, gave them the ball at the 1.5-yard line for that 2-point conversion. So 21-14. The Maroons unable to move the ball, had to punt, the penalty on the punt, and then the 49-yard or whatever it was, touchdown pass Allison to Steve Hall, who ran away from everybody, and we're tied 21-21 after they kicked the extra point by Reinhardt here at halftime. So, and we still got a second half of football to go. I don't know if I can survive. Again, it's going to be a real test to the Maroons to regroup here at halftime and come out charging in the second half.
Once again, the penalties proved costly, as not only the penalty out there that led to the score of the end of the first half, but also the Maroons had 4 or 5 other penalties, and that hurts. I mean, penalties take away yards from you. It expands the field which you have to drive from, and you don't like to see the Maroons hurting themselves.
All right, well, that's where we're at right now. Halftime, 21-21. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Quality, value, and service. That's what you'll find at Ace Hardware and Gift Shop in Clinton. Let us help you find exactly what you're looking for in paints, hardware, and power tools. All your lawn and garden accessories with great buys on gas grills and mowers. From plumbing supplies and fixtures to all your electrical needs, we've got you covered. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, visit our unique gift shop for a great selection of everything from dinnerware to lead crystal and porcelain figurines. Remember, Ace is the place in Clinton with the helpful hardware folks.
All right, we're back here live at Clinton High School. And for those of you listening to the broadcast live on WHOW-FM radio, hope you enjoyed Joe Spencer's interview with a guy that does pretty good with a microphone in his face. David Lemmel, he did a good job answering your questions. Very articulate young man, the senior for the Maroons.
He's very intelligent. He not only stars on the football and baseball teams, but he's on Jets, too. And you have to be very smart to get on Jets, and he was one of their main guys last year and will be this year.
Obviously. All right, well, we're at the end of halftime. We're all tied 21-21. As you can expect, Unity came back out here in the football field, fired up to get the second half underway because they scored 2 touchdowns with 1:32 remaining in the first half to tie it up after being down by as much as 21-6. They will kick off to the Clinton Maroons, who hopefully can get it going the right direction again after a very good start in this ball game. Good long kick. That'll be taken at the 15-yard line by Igems. 25, 30-yard line, still on his feet, breaks a few tackles and stumbles forward out beyond the 35 to about the 36 or 37-yard line. A good return by Bob Igems of about 22 yards. And 1st and 10 for Clinton here early in the third quarter of play.
You'd like to see the Maroons establish their running game once again, try to rip up some big yards on the ground, and then get this drive going, and then put it in the end zone.
Well, they moved the ball pretty well in the first half of play, obviously, with 3 touchdowns on the board and had potential for more. The bad part was the defense gave up a couple touchdowns to Unity late. Here's Sams on the option. This time he's able to pitch it to Connolly. They kept their spacing better that time. And then here's a late hit by Unity, one of their defenders in late on the play, who was Dave Mannon. Jumped right on top of Conley late, and the official threw the flag. They're going to keep control of things out here. Obviously, we've already had one personal foul called in this ball game and a player ejection of one of the Clinton Maroons, and that happened right in front of the Clinton bench at the 40-yard line. It was a gain of about 6 yards, but it'll be a first down with the penalty.
It's a good call by the referees because you don't want to lose control of this game and have something happen that neither team would like after the game, I think.
Well, that penalty against the Maroons right before halftime really gave Unity a boost. So hopefully this will do the same for Clinton. It takes them from their own 40 to the 45 of Unity, and 1st and 10. So quickly the Maroons pick up over 20 yards on one play and a 15-yard major penalty for the personal foul on the late hit. Out of the I formation. And keep in mind, Josh Wilson's in there at the fullback position. Sams will run with the football on the option right. He gets about 3 or 4 more yards as he carries it down inside the 45 to about the 41-yard line. But it's a change at the fullback spot right now. Jeff Wilson, who was held out the last several minutes of the second quarter, I think, because he either isn't feeling well or an injury. We're not sure exactly what the case is. He's still down there on the sideline, but in his place at the fullback is the young sophomore, Josh Wilson.
Well, Josh did have 11 yards on that one carry he had at the beginning of the game, so maybe he can do a good job filling in for Jeff. Maybe the cold's getting to Jeff's legs. I know he had cramps last week with the legs.
A lot cooler this week. This is more like football weather. The temperature today was, about 71, 72 degrees this afternoon. Beautiful fall-like day. So the temperature obviously is dipping down into the 60s and into the 50s probably before this one is over tonight. So this is a nice night for football. Not a cloud in the sky. Sams will hand it off, but stumbling, tripped up, I think, over his own man's feet. I think he tripped over Dave Lemmel's feet there was Wilson, and loses a yard on the play. So 3rd and long coming up for the Maroons, and the offense struggling a little bit here now. Late in the second quarter and early in the fourth quarter, they're not moving the ball quite as well.
Well, I was just going to say hopefully that penalty can start a drive, but right now they have to convert a big play here to keep the drive going.
3rd and 8. They've got to get it inside the 35-yard line to about the 34, and it looks like Sams might be forced to throw the football. He's rolling out right, though. He's going to option run it. Tries to cut inside a man, but they contained him nicely. He did get it down inside the 40 to about the 38, but the Maroons may be forced to punt here. They are in Unity territory to about the 38-yard line. Will they go for it on 4th down, or will they kick the football? We'll wait and see. Igems comes off the football field, and so does Wes Graves. It's a 4th and about 4 to go for a first down. Looks like the Maroons are going to go for it. Connolly and Wilson in the backfield.
It's a good call.
Van Fossen and Queer are the wideouts. Sams, long count, trying to draw him off sides, and he'll call timeout. He couldn't draw him across, so now they'll punt.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. It's a good call. Try to get the yards. They did that against Olympia last week and got the yards for the first down. So they tried to do it.
Not quite the start I was hoping for here in the third quarter. I wanted to see us move it right downfield and answer those touchdowns scored by Unity. But instead, the Maroons have to burn a timeout. Keep that in mind as we get late in the ball game. They'll have just 2 more remaining. We still have 9:42 to go in the third quarter play. We're tied 21-21 in what's been a very entertaining football game.
Well, at least it'll give the defense a chance to clamp down on Tolono and try not to allow the big plays that killed them in the first half.
Well, we're not absolutely sure yet that the Maroons are going to punt the football, but I would assume that They will. Nate Sams, of course, takes care of the punting chores. With the absence of Ben Nichols to graduation last year, Ben punted the football for 2 or 3 years for the Maroons, and Nate was his backup when Ben was injured.
It could be a trick play, though, too, though. He's a quarterback. So.
Nate drops back near midfield, and they have one deep man, and that's Lefebvre, or Lefebvre, however you like to pronounce it. Boy, he kicked it straight up in the air again. Good high kick. Will it get a good bounce? It's kind of a sideways bounce near the 20. Now it comes back the wrong way for the Maroons out to the 23. Not getting a lot of distance, certainly getting plenty of height to cover it, but not a lot of distance on it, only about a 20-yard kick or so. So Unity will have it as their defense holds, and they'll have it at the 23-yard line in their own territory, 1st and 10, early in the third quarter.
Well, a high end-over-end kick like that does give the coverage team a chance to get down there and stop the return man.
Even I could cover that. Even I could run 20 yards downfield, I think, and cover that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, that ball got some hang time, and it wasn't long, but, you know, it does the job.
The real whack man, the real wacky guy, here, I'll give it to you in just a second, has given us some information we appreciate. Here's Reinhardt, another run. He's got first down yardage. Einchen's tried to grab from behind. He breaks away. Another broken tackle, and he's all the way down inside the 35-yard line. But there is a penalty flag back here toward the line of scrimmage, and I think this one will come back. Probably a penalty call along the line of scrimmage, so let's wait and see.
Let's hope it comes back.
Craig Wack, the sports editor for the Clinton Daily Journal, informs us that another ejection here against the Maroons, an unsportsmanlike penalty again, and we've had another player thrown out of the ball game. Wilson has a hip pointer, and he's questionable for the rest of the night. That's his injury situation.
Well, you don't like to see a lot of Maroons get kicked out of this game because, you know, you're losing a lot of
J.D. Stroud. J.D. Stroud is the man that looks like they're throwing out of the ball game. These officials aren't putting up with very much out there, apparently. Another unsportsmanlike call against the Maroons. And another ejection, and the Maroons are going to have to make a switch at linebacker. And keep in mind, Jeff Wilson is on the sideline because of the hip pointer. And now the other starting linebacker is out of the ball game. Oh, excuse me. I gave you the wrong name. It's Clyde Leggett. Excuse me. Stroud comes into the ball game. It's Clyde Leggett. My apologies to J.D. That's Clyde Leggett who has been ejected from the ball game. And he is on the sideline now. That's the second player ejected from the ball game, and there's penalty yardage added on to this already big gain. Unity, in a tie ball game with Clinton, has a drive going here with help of a penalty. They're at the 21-yard line of the Maroons, 1st and 10. Things are looking bleaker and bleaker every moment here. Early in the third quarter of play in a tie ball game. Reverse direction play here, but the Maroons stay with it well and bottle it up. Around the ankles was Wantland to slow it down. He had to have some help after the ball carrier fell forward for a yard or two, and that man that helped make the tackle is very slow getting up and injured on the play, but a gain of maybe a yard and a half or so on the play for Unity, and I think it was Eric Temple who was the ball carrier.
Well, the Maroons showing a little bit of inexperience, as some of the papers had mentioned in the preseason, by letting their emotions get the best of them. You can't do that, and we'll see how the Maroons will play with a few players gone.
Randy Rich comes off. He was the man who finished off that tackle, but got shook up a little bit. I think he'll be back in there quickly, but he's got the helmet off on the sideline right now. 2nd and 9 at the 20-yard line for the Rockets. Allison with the long call. Going to roll out, going to run with the football. Has an opening, 15, 10-yard line, inside the 10, and has first down yardage. That apparently is the way their option run worked last week against Monticello, and it's starting to go here against the Maroons. Keep in mind, the Maroons are, well, a little battered up, and also have had some players taken out of this ball game due to the ejections, and it's starting to hurt a little bit. I think I see Rob Smith in the lineup out there, but I'll have to double check that. I might have the wrong uniform number, but do I see a 52 in there, or is that another number along the line? He would be a 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore for the Maroons, having to be put in there possibly with the absence of Brad Earl.
Yeah, when some of the players get ejected, you have to fill in with younger players and even more inexperienced.
First and goal from the 8 for the Rockets. 2 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Reinhardt, the lone back of the backfield. He's got 2 wing backs, though. And he'll give it to Reinhardt right up the middle, pushing hard forward into about the 5-yard line. And a gain of a good 3 yards or so on the play. They'll have 2nd and goal from just inside the 5. It's a tie ball game, but Unity driving downfield. We're inside 7:50 to go in the third quarter of play. And Unity definitely with the momentum in their favor right now.
Well, once again, a couple of Maroons penalties, both unsportsmanlike conduct, have given Tolono the momentum, and they're coming back down the field with the aid of those penalties.
Randy Rich is back into the ball game, apparently all right after that injury a moment ago. Second and goal from the 5. Allison under center with the long snap count again. He'll give it to Reinhardt again. Had a little opening, but the Maroons swarm this one under and dropping. A whole host of tacklers that time for the Maroons, as I believe he got maybe to the 4-yard line, and they'll have third and goal from the 4. But there were a lot of Maroon shirts on the ball carrier Reinhardt that time.
Big push from the middle from the defensive line. Dave got there first, as you said, and other Maroons swarmed to the ball, and it looked about 6 guys got there by the end of the play, and it's a nice play by the defense.
I saw J.D. Stroud and several others, as you said, David Lemmel in on the tackle. Linebackers came up to help out. Big play here. Third and goal from the 4-yard line now for Unity. Wide receiver each way. Reinhardt again, the man in the backfield. Allison drew the Maroons. Whoop, maybe not. I thought they jumped, but apparently not. Here's a late pitch, and the ball carrier slips and goes down at the 5. I was waiting for penalty flags on that, but instead they let the play go, and the pitch went to Steve Hall, and he tried to cut it upfield and slipped and fell down at the 5, but the Maroons had it pretty well defended anyway, and they've got 4th and goal, now back out at the 5 coming up.
Yeah, the Maroons played that pitch well. Once again, they played the quarterback and the running back on that play, not letting a guy get outside of him and possibly score, and that's the key to playing the option.
This would be a big stand by the Maroons defense here, being hindered by penalties and ejections, and the fans are coming to their feet in front of us, supporting this team on 4th down and goal from the 5. Allison sets him down with the call.
Come on,
has
D.
the football. Gonna option right, pitches to Reinhardt, trying to get outside, has a block out front, dives for the end zone and scores. He makes it.
Reinhardt
just made it to the right front corner of the end zone. He had a good block out on front on Ryan Schumacher, who was trying to keep him inside and trying to cut him down before he got to the goal line, but Reinhardt had enough momentum and enough blocking out in front to dive in the end zone, and Unity has taken their first lead of the ball game here at the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
It was a sweep, and Reinhardt just barely got to the corner of the end zone, and you know, the Maroons tried to play at their best, but Reinhardt just got outside of him and put it in for the score.
They're going to make it look like they're going to kick for the extra point. We'll wait and see if they follow through. That placement's down. Reinhardt's kick, low liner, but it looks like it's through. There it is. So with 5:53 to go in the 3rd quarter of play, it's up to the offense to get it back and get back in here, as the Maroons now trail by 7 by a score of 28-21. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Quality Glass and Trim wants to take this time to wish the Maroons the best of luck in their football season. Quality Glass is your complete glass sales and service center. Locally owned and operated, we repair storm windows and screens, replace auto vinyl tops and headliners. We handle all types of glass from desktops to windshields. All insurance work is welcome. Give us a call at 935-3120 or stop by 220 Northeast Street, Clinton. Quality Glass and Trim is proud to be a sponsor of the Clinton Maroons.
I do have to say that Craig Wack is vying with you now for Inside Information Man. I mean, he's come up here and given us inside information on the down count and who was ejected in the first half, and now on the injury to Jeff Wilson, a hip pointer, and he's questionable if he'll get back in there the rest of the ball game tonight. Here's the kickoff by Unity. End over end kick that the Maroons will let bounce. They have to pick it up, and they do field it deep. Connolly kind of suckers him in. Now can he get it upfield? Gets some blocks. Now cuts upfield. He's being gathered in and brought down at about the 25 or 24-yard line, though. Didn't get the kind of return that he wanted. He didn't follow the blocking quite the way he needed to get it upfield, as he kind of ran east and west instead of north and south on that one, I guess, the way our field is laid out. Well, I guess he didn't want to run north and south. He wanted to run north toward the north goal. But the Maroons will have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
He did a good job protecting the ball, though, and you don't want to see a fumble now at this critical stage in the game for the Maroons.
Well, this is a real gut check now for the Maroons, and they come out with a different formation. They've got 3 wideouts to the left-hand side and 1 lone back, and they'll give it to that one back, and it's Josh Wilson, the sophomore. He fumbles the football, and it's still up for grabs. Let's see who's got the football. Unity acts like they got it, and they do. Unity has really turned this game now. They force a fumble on the Maroons, and they recover it at about the 22-yard line or so. And they will have great field position with the football again. Now the Maroons forced, and I'm not picking on Josh, but a very inexperienced guy at the varsity level in there in place of Jeff Wilson because of the injury. And Josh costs up the football, and a good solid tackle by Unity there.
Well, with sophomores, you don't have the experience of just practices even of game-type situations, and maybe he didn't put both hands on the ball or something, but Tolono did a good job getting turnovers last game, and they're doing it again this game.
Rockets will try to capitalize again on the Maroons at the 22. Back to passes Allison. He's going for it all now. The high pass is deflected, intercepted by Wilson. He makes up for it. A great interception by Josh Wilson. Now that's a heck of a play by a sophomore. I mean, he just coughed up the football. He drops back from his linebacker spot. There were 3 men around the intended receiver, who was LeFave, and Josh with a nice interception. He reached up and kind of tipped the ball to himself and made the catch, and I think he's redeemed himself. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. That's why coaches tell you not to get down on yourself, because you can come back the next play and look fantastic, and he did a good job there picking that play off.
I tell you, the Maroons were looking very glim there, just looking real bad, and they come right back with a big play. Here's a pass. It's well short of the intended receiver, Schumacher. Sams was under pressure, giving chase for Unity with Steve Hall on him, and he unloaded and threw it well short of Ryan out here in the right flat, incomplete. So 2nd and 10 for the Maroons at their own 20-yard line. The offense has really struggled to move the ball now. Early in the ball game, really for the first, well, I don't know, quarter and 2/3, they moved it pretty relentlessly and put 21 points on the board. But lately, they've had a tough time. Adjustments have been made by Unity, and the Maroons will have to try to pull something here to get the ball moving downfield. Sams under pressure again, running with the football, cuts it upfield, hurdles a man, and goes down hard at the 25-yard line, but picked up 5 yards on the play. But, man, he hit the ground hard as he jumped up in the air to try to elude a defender.
Yeah, he tried to hurdle him a little bit, and you hate to see a play like that because he came down awkward on that leg, and you don't want to see Nate hurt.
3rd and 5 coming up for Clinton. They need to get a first down here and get something going. We're down to 4:16, clock running to go into third quarter of play, and Clinton trails 28-21 now to Unity. Sams will roll out left, pressure from behind, unloads, good pass, completion to Schumacher. He's in the clear now, hurdles a couple of men, and he's out to the 41-yard line. That was a good throw by Nate Sams to an open Schumacher, who's rather sure-handed, and Ryan Schumacher, with a good run after the catch, got an additional 5 yards or so and a first down for Clinton.
And that was a good play, as it was just a little crossing pattern into the middle of the field. Schumacher showing his toughness going into the middle, the heart of the linebacking core, and coming down with that ball.
Well, the Maroons have to get some offense going somehow, and then that's one way of doing it. Let's throw some of those short passes, some of those high percentage passes like that. On 1st and 10 for Clinton. Quick pitch to Connolly. Gets a block, cuts it inside. 45, 50. Can he outrun everybody? 40, 30. He's got a man to beat. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! The speed of Ryan Connolly gets the Maroons back in this ball game. They trail now only by 1.
60 yards, Ryan Connolly. There's the track in him as he beat everybody down the sidelines. Great play by Ryan Connolly. Oh, my God. He just beat everybody.
The Maroons were looking like they just couldn't do anything right for a while there. Just looking so down, and that play has given them the lift they needed. Now the Maroons going for the extra point, and they might have to use their second timeout here. They're short a man. Keep in mind, they've lost some people here, so they're having to make some replacements. Can they get this extra point attempt off in time? They got to hustle.
Yeah, it was a gut check there, and they were missing Clyde Leggett on the line and also Earl, but they came out with it.
They'll kick for the extra point. They could take a penalty here, though. They got too many men on the field. He gets off just in time, but nope, they took too much time. That's all right. Carl can get the extra point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than using a timeout. That's better than using a timeout, though, when you only would have one left. When you got a leg like Carl Kortz has, go ahead and take the penalty and kick it from, instead of a 20-yard, take a 25-yard extra point attempt here.
Oh, yeah, Carl should have no difficulty even with this. He's a great kicker, and I've seen him in practice. He's going to do a good job, and he's going to hit this one. No doubt in my mind.
The score came with 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the third quarter. Clinton is within 1 of Unity, 28-27. It takes some wind out of their sails finally. Placement's down. Here's Carl's kick. No problem with the distance. Did he get through there? No! He pulled it left, so the 5 yards does cost the Maroons. He pulled it left. Hey, but this game is far from over. Now we see the offense can still score. Timeout on the field. 3:42 to go in the third quarter play. Unity is up, but only by 1 now, 28-27. More and more people are shopping Dave's Food Basket. Let's ask our customers why.
Easy to get to, the prices are good, the clerks are all friendly, and it's a clean store, and I like the prices.
They have double coupons every day, so it doesn't matter when you get groceries.
It's a nice, friendly, clean store. Very courteous. I'm well pleased.
I think your produce department is wonderful, and the frozen food is really great for me.
There you have it. More good reasons to shop Dave's Food Basket. I tell you what, if we can overcome the ejection of 2 of our players and an injury to one of our key linebackers and fullback in Jeff Wilson, and just all the adversity that we've had in the second and third quarter of this ball game, this would again be another big victory for the Maroons if they can overcome that, just like last week's win over Olympia was.
This is just showing the intensity of the Maroons, how much they can take. They're doing a good job so far, and it was nice to get the touchdown back to put this within 1. I hope they can hopefully take the lead pretty soon here.
Carl Courts has to decide which way to kick it. The 2 deep men are standing one behind the other. They're hiding one of the men back there. Now they split, and Carl at the last second will send it to LaFleur again. He takes it at his 5, 10, 15, 20-yard line. Up the middle, finds a little bit of an opening. He's in the clear. Carl Courts comes up and helps out and on the tackle. Carl, take care of that cross-country man now.
Yeah.
Makes the tackle on the play, got some help, assistance on that tackle, but not till a good return all the way back out to about the 38-yard line, so Unity will have pretty good field position after that return.
Yeah, Carl made up for that missed PAT as he boomed that one down to under the 5, and but I don't like what I'm seeing over at the sideline as the trainer is attending to Nate Sam's fingers or arm or something.
Looks like a hand injury possibly. They're putting something on the hand, ice on the hand. It looks like he might have hit something and have some swelling in that hand. I hope that doesn't affect him. Man in motion. It's bottled up. The quarterback pitches the last second. It's loose on the ground, but it's picked up and fielded, and a good hard hit by the Maroons. I think that was Wes Graves who put the hit on the running back, who just scooped up the ball and tried to run with it and was greeted very abruptly by Graves out there. And they did get a gain of about a yard on that play, but that wasn't very pretty at all for Unity.
Wes ran him over like a Mack truck there. That was a risky option pass as the ball hit the ground, and Temple did a nice job just recovering.
We're late in the third quarter of play. Unity has the ball and a 1-point lead, 28-27. They came from 21-6 down, a 21-6 score, to take a 28-21 lead here in the third quarter of play. And now the Maroons jump offsides, and penalties are mounting up a little bit for the Maroons here. There's 5 additional yards. Now that was Rob Smith, the sophomore. How many is that? 6 penalties?
6 penalties.
But keep in mind, we've got such a young football team, and you know, and I know the coaches are disgusted along the sideline, but heck, this guy's in there right now, you know, because of the ejections and so on. Normally doesn't see a lot of varsity playing time. He's been thrown to the fire here, and he hasn't done too bad a job, but he got pulled offsides that time by the quarterback's cadence.
Need a stop, though.
2nd and 3 now instead, a long 3. At the 45-yard line for Unity at their own 35. And boy, they get the handoff just in a nick of time, and they will get the first down. 50 to the 48-yard line. Quarterback Allison was under a lot of pressure. He had somebody hanging on his ankles when he handed off to Temple, but Temple got the ball cleanly, and then he was able to break it upfield and get the first down carry to the 48 of the Maroons, who was right on top of the quarterback there. Did you catch it, Lemmel or Wantlin or somebody like that probably?
I think it was Big Dave as the surge through the defensive line was for naught as they got the ball off and gained 6 yards for the first down.
2 minutes ago in the third quarter, Unity in Clinton territory again at the 48-yard line. We could use another turnover of some sort from Unity here. That's what started the last drive for the Maroon touchdown. They'll run it, though, and Reinhardt bowling ahead behind his offensive line. Might have got 4 or 5 yards inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. A gain of 4, we'll call it. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Well, I expect Tolono to employ mostly a running attack, just try to eat the clock up here. They have a 1-point lead, but still it's a lead going into the waning parts of the third quarter. They're going to try to hold on to the ball and drain the clock out so the Maroons' offense can't get back on the field.
They've had some success throwing the ball, but not that last pass when Josh Wilson made a terrific interception on good coverage. 2 wide receivers to the left-hand side, however. They may throw it here. Let's wait and see. Allison, he'll hand it off, and Reinhardt, good hard running, has got another first down right up the middle. And the Maroons, I tell you what, I just saw one of the Maroons, I think it was J.D. Stroud, kind of put his hands up after the play was over, like, I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be doing. You know, afraid that he might get penalized or thrown out of the game here. And there's another player for the Maroons. Looked like he's talking to the official. There's something going on down there at the line that the Maroons are being irritated, and it's gotten them in some trouble with 2 players being ejected. They've got to learn to just try to be cool, and no matter what's going on there, let the officials try to handle it and not to get thrown out of this ball game, because they're quick to throw some people out here.
Yeah, their opponent is Tolono, not the referees.
1st and 10. Inside the 40, about the 38-yard line. Reinhardt again with the call, trying to follow the right-hand side of his line. I tell you, they're getting some first downs here, but the defensive line still hanging in there. I mean, it's not a big line at all for the Maroons, but those guys like Wantlin and let's see who's in there right now. Also Chris Stahl, 6'2", 180, and just a junior, not an experienced varsity player, hanging in there, making that tackle after about a 3, almost 4-yard gain. Second and a long 6 coming up for Unity, and they've got time for at least one more play here in the third quarter.
Well, this is where the loss of Brad Earl and Clyde Leggett is really felt, because they're having to put guys in normally not in this situation.
Those guys are trying to rise to the occasion here. Long call on second down. They'll try to middle again, and the Maroons bottle it up this time. It's Lemmel leading the charge and ramping up the ball carrier, J.D. Curry. And no gain on the play. 5 seconds to go for the third quarter. They lost a couple of yards, so it'll be third down and about 8 coming up for Unity when we start the fourth quarter of play. Unity leads, but their lead is only 1. Clinton has come back to get back in this ball game. As we take break at the end of 3 quarters of play, it's Unity 28, Clinton 27.
When it's time for retirement, will you be ready? With rising income to stay ahead of inflation, strategies to minimize taxes, cash reserves for unexpected expenses, financial security to enjoy the retirement you deserve. It's never too early to start planning for retirement. Edward D. Jones & Company has the solutions you need. For convenient personal service, call your local investment representative today.
Well, we're going to the fourth quarter with a 1-point ball game. This time we were tied with Olympia last week, 7-7. This time it's 28-27, Unity with a 1-point lead. Are we going to go down to the wire again? Are we going to have another last-second touchdown or score of some sort to decide this one?
Well, if we do, I hope it's the same result. But right now, here's where the coaches really...
I hope my heart is strong. That's what I hope.
Here's where the coaches really become a factor, because Coach Nagel and Coach Knutson are good coaches. All the other coaches are too. They're going to get these guys pumped up for the fourth quarter. They're going to ask them if they want it more than Tolono, and it's going to be yes if they win.
Well, we've talked about the Maroons and their conditioning, how hard they worked during the summertime. This is a young bunch, and I think they were a very committed bunch preparing for this season. This will show, even though they might not be quite as big and strong as their opponent in some of those positions, they could still be the better conditioned team and outplay their opponent here in the fourth quarter of play. This is the big quarter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not telling you anything new there, obviously. 2 wide receivers go to the left-hand side. 1 to the near side of the field, the right-hand side. As now Unity works toward the north goal. 3rd and 8 from about the 36-yard line of Clinton. And back to pass. Allison pump faking. He's going to look deep. Beat his man. He's wide open. It's incomplete. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Schumacher bit on the short pass, and then the wide receiver was way behind him as Schumacher slipped and fell, and J.D. Ellers was wide open at the 10-yard line, and he was just overthrown enough. It fell incomplete. That is a big break for the Maroons.
Well, there's a little bit of the inexperience we've been talking about this season, as Ryan Schumacher bit on the short out pattern, and then the guy just blew by him downfield down the sidelines.
Well, that break, just slightly overthrown pass. I was having nightmares. And did you notice how quiet the Clinton crowd was when that ball was coming down toward the receiver? There, a pin could have been heard dropping.
But once again, it was for naught, and let's hope that's enough opportunity for the Maroons.
Here's the boot by Reinhardt. Good high kick. Let it drop, and they're going to try to get a touchback, but it goes into the end zone. He was not able to field it and keep it from going across the goal line. It's a touchback. What did I say? Did I say that? Who knows? Did I say touchdown? No, I hope not.
But let's hope that that play that could have been potentially very serious turns out to leave enough window of opportunity for the Maroons to come back and win this game.
Crowd's awfully quiet right now. They're not sure what to think here. The Maroons came back and got within 1 on that last drive on a long run by Ryan Conley. And right now, Doug Neuschwander's trying to lead the crowd in some cheers here to get them to give them some support. Little reverse motion here, and the Maroons give it to Wilson. And Wilson's still struggling hard. Good effort. The ball springs loose, but his forward motion had been stopped, and they rule. I think it was Wilson that was a ball carrier. Well, let me double check that. I think it might have been Conley, because Wilson, I think, picked up the loose ball. Anyway, as it stands, it was down before any fumble came out of there. Let me just get out of this by saying that. And officials are going to stop play for just a second here. It was a gain of about 4 yards, 2nd and 6 coming up.
Well, you like to see that hustle, as he could have been put down after a gain of 2 or something, but he picked up extra yards just on his hustle and his individual drive. That he's shown Tolono that they're not going to stop him with arm tackles and weak tackling.
I think it's Ryan Connolly who's down on the field for Unity down there. He's such a valuable man for their team. He just punted a moment ago. He's their tailback. He's carried the ball a lot. Obviously, he plays defense all the time. Linebacker, I believe, for them.
Yeah.
And I think he's suffering from some leg cramps right now. They're attending to him on the field at this moment. I believe that is. All the Unity players are standing between us and him, so it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on there.
Well,
but it would appear.
Well, hopefully the Maroons can capitalize with him out of play, be kind of opportunistic, as Tolono's capitalized with some of our guys out due to ejections. So maybe they can rip a big play up the middle or something on the ground and try to start a drive here that'll end up in a score.
I don't think he'll be out very long, though. If he, obviously, he'll have to go out here because of the stoppage of play, but I bet he'll be back in there after a very short period of time. Let's see. Let me take a look down there. We've got, for the Maroons on the line, J.D. Stroud's in there on the offensive line right now. I see Rob Smith. I don't know a whole lot about Rob. He's a year behind you in school. I don't know if you know too much about him, but boy, he's getting a lot of playing time tonight with the situation we've had. Casey Hicks, of course, is in there, the senior, 230. And who else is, of course, Wantland, the center, is in there right now.
Is Dave in there?
Well, I would think the big guy's in there. He should be standing head and shoulders above everybody else.
Well, one thing about Rob, he is big. He is bigger than the normal sophomore, and you know, he worked out over the summer too. I saw him there, and
but he's a senior. What do you mean bigger than a normal sophomore?
I was talking about Rob Smith.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were talking about Dave Lemmel.
No, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Clarify
that. Quite
that.
all right. It's all right. Up to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 6. Maroons will run. Bursting outside as Conley tries to fake another man and jumps inside him, stays on his feet. He's got first down yardage and a little bit more. Nifty running, and he didn't cough up the football. I tell you, every once in a while he kind of holds it out there where it's a little scary, but he's trying so hard to evade the tacklers and get that additional yardage. He gets the first down to about the 20, I believe it'll be 8-yard line when they bring it back out to the center of the field. The Maroons, I'm not 28. I'm going the wrong way. 32-yard line, 32 for the Maroons, 1st and 10. We're in the fourth quarter of play, but only about 45 seconds into the fourth. A long way to go.
He showed his athletic ability there as he weaved around a few guys and got to the outside toward the sidelines.
Be a good time to put a long drive together and move it downfield. Nate Sands bursting upfield. He's across the 35, 40, 45-yard line before he's cut from behind and spun down by Unity's Eric Temple. Boy, he found a quick opening. I don't know how he got through there that quickly, but that's the way Nate does it sometimes for that option, and it was about a 15-yard gain, or maybe closer to, right at 15, to the 47-yard line of Clinton as they approach midfield.
Well, when you're the quarterback, your eyes got to get as big as about $half when you see a hole like that, and maybe that helped him accelerate a little bit more.
One wide receiver to the right-hand side. Sams will go left this time. Waiting, will he pitch? He's going to keep the football as he couldn't get it to Conley, and he has to eat the football after a 2-yard gain. Good strong tackle for one of Unity's linebackers, Kelly White, who's a senior, 5'9", but 170 pounds. A gain of maybe 2, not quite, to the 49-yard line of Clinton.
Once again, a good decision by Nate because it was already too late to option the ball off there. The guy already had him under wraps pretty much, and if he gives the option shovel pass out there, it might have been a turnover.
You know what? What's scary here is the potential for the Maroons to get better and better at this option. Right now, as we mentioned earlier, sometimes the spacing doesn't look real good. And, they're not able to make that pitch when they'd like to. And as the season goes on, they're going to improve in that. Ryan and Nate are going to get more in sync with each other, much like, the situation we had last year. And they're going to break some more long runs when they make that pitch at the last second.
But, yeah, that's what's going to be real good for the Maroons because Conley did break that 60-yarder. And
on 2nd and 8, Sam throws over the middle. It's almost intercepted. It hit the chest pads of one of those guys dropping back in on defense, Dave Mannon, and then hit the ground incomplete. He's running the wrong direction away from that because he can't believe he didn't hang on to that one. Good coverage that time by Unity, and almost an interception. It's 3rd down and a long 8 coming up here very shortly.
Well, I don't think Nate saw Mannon. I think that he came from a angle of Nate that Nate didn't see, and I think Nate thought he had an open wide receiver there, and the linebacker popped in front of the pass at the last minute.
I didn't see who the intended receiver was. It was probably Ryan Schumacher from his tight end spot, probably. Now they're having to get Wilson set up here in the backfield. He might not have known the snap count or the play, but they got him straightened out. They're going to give to Conley. He's not going to get outside on this one. He still springs away and gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe slightly beyond. But the Maroons are stopped short of midfield and have a 4th down and long, and it appears they'll have to punt the football again. And this time we'll need one that not only goes high, but for some distance here for Nate Sands.
Yeah, it's at about midfield, so if you can get a pretty good distance kick, maybe bury Tolono back a little bit, get a defensive stop, and start with good field position on your next offensive drive, then, you hope to put some points on the board.
Good 40-yard kick would be nice as he stands inside his own 40 at about the 38-yard line. We're down to 9.5 minutes to go in regulation time. Unity leads by 1. Again, it's a good high kick. It'll need a Clinton bounce here. It'll bounce toward the sideline and trickle out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 28 or so. So Unity will start there. Well, the Maroons had a bit of a drive going, but then it shut down near midfield. So the defense will have to do their job and force Unity to give it back. I'd still like to see a turnover here, but you know Unity with a 1-point lead probably isn't going to do anything too hasty here. Certainly probably not put the ball up in the air. Although they did. They tried to go for that score last time, and they should have had it.
One thing about the offense that time, it encouraged me a little bit because it showed they had potential to drive even more on Tolono now, but Tolono put on the brakes at the end there. But I think if the Maroons get the ball next time with a 1-point deficit, they can tie it up.
Unity has 2 wide receivers left side. There's a fumble on the play. Oh, they got it back. Oh, it was a missed handoff from quarterback to the running back, Reinhardt, and Reinhardt was, fortunately for the Rockets, able to jump on top of his own fumble. It hit him in the chest, bounced right at his feet, and he got right on top of it. That, I thought, was the break we were hoping for, but we just weren't able to get to the ball first. Down to about 9 minutes ago in the 4th quarter of play. Unity leading Clinton 28-27. Clinton led most of this ball game, but had a big 21-6 lead get away, and then they trailed 28-21, but they scored here in the second half to close it up to 28-27. A missed extra point, the difference, after a penalty on the Maroons before they attempt a kick. Here's a late pitch. They'll try to get it outside. They've got some running room out there. There's a flag thrown out in front, probably to go against Unity as Eric Temple gets close to 10 yards on the play, but I think this one might come back.
It's coming back.
Well, unless we have another unsportsmanlike conduct against the Maroons.
Well, I thought I saw the hold out there on the far right side.
Yes, but Jeff Berger, you weren't here during the first half when we had the unsportsmanlike penalties. You know, you haven't seen some of the strange things going on out here. Of course, we're a little prejudiced. It just seems very strange to us. I'm slightly prejudiced? Oh, okay, just slightly. Sarcastically speaking.
Yeah, but we can be.
Yes, we can. That's what we get the big bucks for, to be sarcastic. And no, not to be sarcastic. No, that wasn't what I meant to say. Why would I say sarcastic after I said big bucks? I don't know. The penalty will push the ball back from where the infraction occurred inside the 25-yard line to about the 24, and it's second down and about 17. But before the snap of the football, they want the clock to start. Okay, no problem there. And Unity up to the line of scrimmage now. Their quarterback, Brady Allison, has 4 wideouts. 2 to the left side, 1 to the right side. You think he'll put it in the air? No, he's going to option. Watland has him by the shirt sleeve, but he gets away, then cuts it toward the middle of the field, so Ross slowed him up enough to prevent very little gain on that play.
Yeah, Allison showed good resiliency as he broke the tackle there.
Igems and J.D. Stroud finished it off and made the tackle. Nice elastic uniform there for Allison, though. A gain of about 2 or 3. They're out to the 27-yard line, let's call it. 3rd and 12. Big play here. Got to hold him on 3rd and 12 with still a pretty good amount of time here, but you'd like to get the ball back about now. 7:45 to go in the 4th period of play. Clinton trailing by 1.
I think they'll pass now as they got trips to the right side.
That's 3 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Actually got 1 man lined up in the wing or on the slot. And a man goes in motion to the right. They're going to go misdirection the other way, but the Maroons are there. It's Randy Rich who grabs the ball carrier from behind, Steve Hall, and drags him down after only a couple-yard gain to the 29. 4th and 10 coming up, and it looks like Unity will have to punt the football. That's a great tackle from behind. He grabbed him right at the neck of the shirt, it looked like, and held on and drug him down from behind.
Well, Randy wasn't fooled on that play as it looked as if Tolono was going to pass it, but they came with the misdirection, the end around over to the left side, and Randy stopped him for only 2-yard gain and well short of the first down.
Maroons haven't put a lot of pressure on Reinhardt on the punts, and they don't have a lot of men up there on the line. High snap, but he gets it away. Oh, off the side of his foot. It's not going to go very far. It takes a Clinton bounce, and it'll be down at the 29-yard line. That punt is for no yardage. Absolutely no yardage.
That's the break that Clinton needed. But you got to capitalize here, though.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Clinton at the 29-yard line of Unity, and the Maroons have the ball with 6 minutes and 45 seconds. You know, Reinhardt had punted the ball very well in this ball game, but he finally muffed one off the side of his foot trying to get a little extra into it. He wasn't under a lot of pressure.
That's got to be one of the weirdest calls you've called over the years.
Yeah, it really is. I've had a few poor punts. Usually wind-aided, though, but that one is one of the best. Quick pitch. It's Connolly trying to go to left. Puts his head down. Runs over a couple of men. Near the 25-yard line. He got about 4 yards on the play. Maybe 3, actually, because I think they marked the line of scrimmage at the 28-yard line. So I guess technically that punt was a -1. I don't see too many of those. But I remember doing a game. Kevin will remember this, too. We saw some weird things in a game at Bismarck-Henning, a playoff game, Aurora Forsyth and Bismarck-Henning, where they had a gale of about 30 miles an hour blowing from one end of the field to the other. And Jeff Query, who, of course, is in the NFL now with Cincinnati, made several catches in that ball game, amazing catches in the wind. Here's Sam's rolling out right, under pressure, throws it up. He's got items down there, but it's knocked down. It hung up in the air too long.
Well, Nate was...
Yeah, go ahead. That's all right.
Nate was hit as he threw it, and that's what kept the ball up in the air that long.
Igems was open down near the 10-yard line, but Nate, as you said, under pressure, hung it up in the air too long, and that gave the defense a chance to get over there and knock it down. I was worried about a potential interception, but fortunately for the Maroons, it fell to the ground safely. It's 3rd down and about 7 for Clinton. They are at the 25-yard line of Unity. Let's see, 42-yard field goal at this point. No, we got to get it closer than that. Well, I'm just thinking 3 points could put us in the lead, but it's too far out. Sam's rolling out right, under pressure, gets away, has time, throws a short pass, behind a man and incomplete. It was Schumacher, I believe, the intended receiver, and he couldn't reach back for it. No, wait a second here. Nope, it was Jamie Query. Excuse me. I'm back on Query again, aren't I?
That's okay. Well,
Jamie Queer, who's the intended receiver.
You're just hoping that he comes back and plays for the Maroons here.
I'll take a break, and I'll come back in a minute here. Courts is coming on. Right. You guys were laughing at me. Hey, now watch it. Keep in mind who the holder is in this situation, too.
Yeah.
Keep in mind who the holder is.
But here's where Carl comes in the factor.
They'll take a timeout. That's their second timeout of the second half. We'll take a timeout also. On a 4th and 7, the Maroons look like they might go for a field goal to get the lead. They're trailing by 1, 28-27, with 6:12 to go in the fourth quarter play. Back with the attempted field goal. Question mark in a moment.
The law firm of Bill Smith, Joe Taylor, and Jerry Johnson supports the hardworking Clinton Maroons. Bill, Joe, and Jerry are experienced attorneys who will work hard for you to provide quality legal service for reasonable fees. Good luck, Maroons.
I would have liked to have seen that last pass play connect. Jamie Queer was open on that, and Nate starting to feel some pressure. He rolled out and he had time, but then he had a man coming at him. Just threw it behind him. It was very close to completion. Courts is on the spot that it looks like he's going to kick from. Will be on the left hash mark. By the way, there's no breeze at all. No wind factor here. And this will be a 42-yard field goal attempt. But Nate Sands is the holder. Igems and Schumacher lined up at the end spots. Nope, they're going to try to kick. Here's the boot. It's partially blocked. It'll stop well short. It's stopping short of the goal line. And Unity will have the ball very deep at about the 2-yard line. They will start at about their own 2-yard line where the recovery is made. Rockets recovered the ball down there at the 2-yard line, or the 1 maybe, and they will start 1st and 10 from there. Looks like it's about the 1. This is not a bad situation.
A safety would give us the lead.
A safety would give the Maroons a lead. So let's see what happens here.
Maybe Big Dave can get a push up through the middle and catch one of the guys in the backfield.
That was a partially blocked kick, and I think that was a loose ball, and somebody for the Maroons was going for that ball. I think it's a loose ball, and they could have picked it up possibly and gotten it in there. That's right. We had a touchdown scored in a situation like that, although unfortunately last year it was a much wider lead for the Maroons at the time, and it was just kind of fun. This was a nail-biting situation here. From the 1-yard line for Unity, their own 1, they're going to try to punch it out of there, get some breathing room, and we still have just under 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Unity leading by 1 point.
Hopefully a fumble snap.
Allison under center. Maroons coming charging, and they give them 5 yards by coming across the line of scrimmage. Well, there's a 1st and 5 situation coming up. The Maroons wanted to make the big play and get the safety here, and they just got too anxious and came charging across there. Chris Dahl, I think, was the man who jumped, but there might have been more than one.
Well, you can't question his aggressiveness, but then there again, it's some inexperience.
Giving Unity an opportunity here. 5.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Clinton trailing by 1, 28-27 to Unity. 2 wide receivers go to the left side. At the 6-yard line on 1st and 5 now. Allison looking to field over. Under center with the football. We'll hand it off. Reinhardt looking for an opening, spinning and getting out to about the 9-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards short of a first down. And 2nd and 2 will be coming up for the Rockets. Like you said, a turnover. Knock the ball out of their grasp here would be great if we can get the recovery. Yeah. But certainly there's plenty of time to hold them and force them to punt and get the ball back and try one more shot here. 5 minutes to go in the game.
Well, they have been having trouble on their handoff, so hopefully you get a fumbled snap or a bad pitch on an option or something and give the Maroons a break.
On 2nd and 2. I would imagine Allison would go to his workhorse again. Reinhardt, who's lined up in the backfield. He will. He finds a hole. Bursts through it, has first down, still on his feet, and gets out to the 17-yard line. Reinhardt held onto by Igems, who had to come up and make the tackle. Dropped it about the 18-yard line, to be more exact. A first down for Unity. They've got it out of the hole and a lot more as they get the first down. 4:40 to play in the game.
Well, Reinhardt has been huge for Tolono. He's carried the brunt of the load here rushing, and I have him at 20 carries.
Which team has the strength here at the end? This has been a tough football game, a long football game, a lot of scoring, and a lot of players have spent a lot of time on the field for both these teams, playing both ways. Got to be some tired football players out there, but they got to reach down deep for the last 4.5 minutes on 1st and 10. Allison with the football again. Again goes to Reinhardt, and he's knocked down immediately. Fumble, I believe. Do the Maroons have it? Yes! Yes! They forced the fumble on Reinhardt, and the Maroons have recovered. And I believe it was Josh Wilson, the sophomore, who came out with it. I'm not absolutely sure.
Once again, Josh Wilson comes up big for the Maroons. Another turnover caused by Wilson.
Time to punch it in there. I don't know if he caused it, but I think he did recover it. But the Maroons, nevertheless, took it out of an experienced ball player's hands. And now from the 17, 1st and 10 for Clinton, and you can tell they're confident. Here's the pitch to Conley. Has some blocking out front. Trying to get outside, but they come up and swarm him under and drop him for a loss on the play. That's a great play by Unity on first down. Slow down the Maroons offense. Eric Temple, Steve Hall combining on the tackle, and it's a 2-yard loss for the Maroons. I think we're going to have to go to the air to try to get this score. We're down to 3:44, clock running to go in the ballgame. Clinton trailing by 1 point.
Yeah, that was good outside pursuit by the Tolono guys, as they didn't even give Connolly the sidelines there, as they had a guy about a yard apart each yard on the field, and they wouldn't let him get outside.
By the way, it would be a 36-yard field goal attempt from here right now. Let's get some yardage. Let's get a score. Here's a late pitch. Conley has it. Got a man blocking out front. Cuts it upfield. Gets it down to the 16-yard line. About a 3-yard gain. And it's a 3rd down and about 9 situation coming up, I believe, depending upon where they mark it. There's a player for Unity down and hurt right now, and they'll stop the clock for this injury with 3:12 to go in the ball game. Again, it looks like leg cramps again for the Unity player. And I didn't catch it. I'm not sure exactly who it was. Might have been that Ryan Rich for Unity, I believe.
Well, you got to have a big play here. 3rd down and 8, it looks like. And Clinton really needs to get it down a little bit more to try a field goal. Hopefully they can connect on a pass play here.
3 minutes, 12 seconds. I'd like to just see us get a first down here and run some more time and then punch it in. That would be ideal. You know, let's score with 23 seconds left again, huh?
Well, I'd love to see that kind of situation pop up again.
Where's that ambulance at? I'm going to need it. Where is it down there right now?
Well, the cardiac kids, you don't know.
Yeah, that's what they're turning into, aren't they? Well, that was somebody else there. That was Dave Mannon, who's played a lot of minutes for Unity, who was slow getting up. I think it was leg cramps. The ball is between the 15 and 16-yard line in Unity territory for the Clinton Maroons. Well, and Clinton has a 3rd and 8. Big play here.
This is it right here. This is the difference between winning the game and losing it.
Graves and Schumacher are lined up at the tight end spots, double tight ends here, it looks like. Igems is wide to the right-hand side. Josh Wilson, who's been playing in place of Jeff Wilson throughout the second half, who has a hip pointer. And Ryan Conley in the backfield behind Nate Sams on 3rd and 8. Big play here. Dropping back, rolling down, throwing for the deep right corner for Igems. He makes the catch! Touchdown!
Oh, my God, what a play.
The Maroons lead.
A fade pattern to Bobby Igems in the right corner of the end zone. Oh, my.
What a throw by Nate Sams, and the concentration by Bob Igems. He had a defender in his face the whole way. and it got over the defender's hands. And how did Bob see that one all the way in? I don't know. He caught it in the back right-hand corner of the end zone, and Clinton now leads 33-28. The score comes with 3:03 to go in the ball game. This one isn't over yet, folks.
Well, Bob,
Maroons will go for two, I imagine, here. We'll wait and see. They'll go for a two-point conversion. Just a second. We'll get your comments.
Okay.
We won't take a break after the touchdown. That's all right. We'll go for two. Sams will give it to Conley. He'll try to punch toward the goal line. He did not make it. He did not make it. All right. Instead of being up by 7, they're only up by 5. 3:03 to go in the fourth quarter play. Clinton leads 33-28 on, what was it, a 16-yard touchdown pass. 16, we'll call it, from Sams to Bob Igens, and you were going to comment about Bob and that catch.
Well, Bob has had 2 big plays now, one for 34 and one for 16, both for touchdowns. And that was just a fade pattern to the right quarter of the end zone. As you said, I don't know how Bob saw that play, as we couldn't see Bob. The defender covered him up from our vantage point. But another good pass by Nate Sams as he put enough air underneath it to get it to Bobby.
So the Maroons now lead. I tell you, what a ball game. I mean, a 21-6 lead at one point for the Maroons in the second quarter. Then it goes away. Unity takes the momentum. They lead 28-21 early in the third quarter of play and look like they're going to just go away from us. And the Maroons have reached down deep. They've had 2 players ejected from the ball game. They've had Jeff Wilson out most of the ball game with an injury. And these younger guys have come in there and reached down deep, and they've got their team up with 3 minutes to go in the ball game, up by 5. Can we hold on and win it now?
Well, there's an old adage that you don't get points for heart, but I think the scoreboard has shown the heart of the Maroons here, as they have not given up all night and are finally coming at Tolono.
Courts has been kicking it high and deep, and they've been getting runbacks. Will he Squib kick one here, maybe, for a little difference from his own 40-yard line? He approaches the ball. Nope, going to go deep again. And this time it'll be, I believe, Reinhardt on the far side of the field. He slips and goes down. And there's a penalty on the Maroons for a late hit. One of the Maroons hit him after he had gone down and will be called for a penalty. And that will change the situation greatly from a 1st and 10 at the 22 to a 1st and 10 at the 37 for Unity. And I really think that was very inadvertent on the part of the Maroon that hit on top of him. I think they slipped, and that obviously the running back slipped on the turf that's getting wet out here. He was trying to slow down, and he didn't really hit him that hard, falling on top. But they called one earlier the other way against Unity. So I guess they're just going to call it both ways.
Well, I believe it might have been Lance Taylor, but I don't think that's his fault. He tried to pull up on that play, and I don't think that that's a penalty. There's no way that's a penalty in my mind, because he tried to pull up. That's just a bad call by the referees.
Well, the defense has to do it again. They forced a turnover to set up their touchdown. They just put them in the lead. Now they got to make the plays one more time. 2:45 to go in the ballgame. Clock running. Allison has him up to the line, sets him down. Now has the football. He's going to run option right. Cuts it upfield, has an opening straight up the middle. He's into the clear. Randy Rich will try to catch him. Ryan Schumacher. They both grab him, and he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. Big play there for Unity, all the way from their own, 37-yard line or so after the penalty, to the 24-yard line of the Maroons before Schumacher was the one who really threw him to the ground. And Unity's right back into scoring position at the 24 with 2:33 to go in the ball game.
Big 39-yard run for Allison, and Clinton is really testing our hearts as well.
And a timeout's taken by Unity. Well, let's take a break also, because I got to catch my breath. 2:33 to go in the ball game, at least in regulation time, and I don't know how in the world we're going to get this one in a tie score, but I guess anything's possible. Clinton leads 33-28. All right, big play for the Unity Rockets on that first down carry. Boy, that just a big seam up the middle once Allison cut it upfield on an option to the right. He found the opening up the middle, and he was flying upfield and went for very, very good yardage from the 37 all the way down to the 24-yard line of the Maroons to give Unity a 1st and 10 here. And the Maroons a little bit with their backs to the wall a little bit. Even though they lead by 5 points, Unity's knocking at the door again, and a touchdown, of course, will put them in the 1-point lead again.
Well, it was a good job by the last line of defense as the secondary men came up and tackled Allison before he ran to the end zone.
Here we go now on this 1st and 10 play. And Reinhardt will get the call and dice forward for about 5 yards as he goes into the right part of the line. About a 5-yard gain or so. 2nd and 5 will be coming up. Reinhardt's carried the ball, up in the 20s now. 20-some carries in this ball game. And look, Nate Sams is coming into the ball game. Nate Sams is going to play defense. You talked about that last week, how he's been wanting to play on defense. He's in there. He's in at a linebacker spot. And J.D. Stroud comes out, it looks like.
He's been making a case all year. He has the toughness.
On 2nd and 5, Reinhardt gets the call. He bursts into the clear, and he gets down to about the 10-yard line before he's caught from behind by Randy Rich, and the tackle made. And I think they're inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for Unity. 2 minutes to go in the ball game as they move up the markers. Sams comes out, Stroud's back in. He was only in for one play. Maybe they just wanted an opportunity to talk to J.D. for a moment, make an adjustment. Unity's inside the 10, knocking at the door, but they haven't scored yet. 1st and goal from the 10 for the Rockets.
You have to stop them here. You can't let him in the end zone.
You got to control Reinhardt, first of all. Allison. Long call again. Has the football. Goes to Reinhardt. Got an opening right-hand side. He's down to the 5-yard line before he's rode down by Stroud, and he's brought down by Igems, a couple that were in on the tackle.
Once again, Reinhardt being big is now he has 24 carries, and this is a test of this guy's endurance.
Down to a minute and a half to go. They're down to the 5-yard line with a 2nd and goal from the 5. The clock is running. And one thing, Unity, now they're acting like a very confident team. They're letting the clock run as much as possible. They're planning on scoring as late as possible, not to give the Maroons a chance to come back.
Well, let's hope they're wrong.
Clinton scored with 23 seconds left in the ball game last week. Now they're trying to stop an opponent from doing a similar thing to them. And, the quarterback will have to run with the football. If he didn't have a man in the backfield, he made a pretty good run on it, though. He looked back to hand it off, it looked like to me, and then ran with the football, and he got about 2-3 yards down near the 2.5-yard line. And the clock is down to 52 seconds left when play is stopped here for a timeout by Unity. We'll keep it here.
Well,
51 seconds remaining. Let me set the stage here. Clinton leads by 5, 33-28, and it'll be 3rd down and goal from about the 3-yard line as Chuck Nagel goes out to talk to his ball club on defense.
Well, he had no backs in the backfield, plus he also saw an opening on the outside, and he was tripped up, luckily, by one of the Maroons before he reached the end zone. But, it was a good play by the Maroon linebacker that got him. And, you hope to put the brakes on him here to the 2-yard line. You got to keep him out of here, out of the end zone.
Well, they've got 2 shots at it, and you would think, they've got to go for 6 here. Obviously, a field goal's not going to do them any good, so they've got 2 cracks at still scoring the touchdown here. And they're going to take both of them if they need both of them to score the touchdown, and that would give them a 1-point lead.
As you pointed out, they have to stop Reinhardt, and Reinhardt's been pushing the pack forward and getting good yardage, and that's not a good sign. But I think the Maroons can stop him.
Can the Cardiac Maroons win another one in the waning seconds? They lead this time. 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side. Reinhardt's the only man in the backfield. Now he comes up and talks to his quarterback right behind center before the snap of the football. They're trying to get squared away. Now Allison steps up under center. Still calling out the signals. They're going to get close on time, but he sets them down. Does he get the snap off in time? They're trying to draw the Maroons offside, and there's a flag. Maybe it's too much time. Now, wait a second. They think they drew the Maroons offside, but wait and see. I think they took too much time. At least I'm hoping, but I don't know. The officials are having a little discussion out there. No, offsides Maroons. It'll go against the Maroons. Half the distance to the goal line. They're down to the 1. And, of course, the clock did not start running without the snap of the football occurring, so we're still at 51 seconds left.
Well, you hate to see it when the referees become a factor in the game, but I think right now that they have.
Oh, Joe. At the 1-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 1. Allison has him up there. Has the football. Gives it to Reinhardt. He punches right side. He appears to be in. He is in for the touchdown. Unity has regained the lead of 1 point. 34-33 with 49 seconds left. I don't see the fat lady singing yet. It's not over till it's over.
Oh, no. You could break a big run back here, or, even a pass from Sams. So, Tolono's celebrating over there now, but you never know. Clinton could be celebrating when the clock's at 0.
Well, let's see what happens on the conversion attempt, first of all. This score coming with 49 seconds left. I keep having to look around that pole down there. It's not easy. It's called a 1-yard run officially for Reinhardt. Now the conversion attempt. They're going to go for 2 and try to make it at least a 3-point lead. So if the Maroons do kick a field goal here in the last seconds, they can get a tie and go to overtime. Allison with the football, dropping straight back, wants to throw. Out in the flat, it's easily intercepted by the Maroons, and Randy Rich, after he makes the interception, throws it to the ground. So the Maroons have 49 seconds to try to pull this one out. They trail by only one, 34-33. Back with the kickoff by Unity in a moment. Seconds remaining. Well, we've seen kickoffs return for touchdowns. We've seen good kickoffs that have led up to things. And the Maroons have a guy that's got a strong leg. The biggest thing, if we do get a field goal shot here, and it's not a real good percentage chance of that, but there still is a chance. The line's got to give him a chance to get that kick off. He's had 2 blocks now this year, and the first one was a low kick. Yeah. And even though maybe the line didn't give him a lot of time, he still booted that one pretty low. This second one, I think, had a little higher arch to it, but he still needed more time to get it over him, and they got a partial hand on it. Here's a deep kick. Connolly has it at the 10. Need a big return. He's up the middle. Grabbed around from behind, falls forward, and gets it out to the 33, 34-yard line, and the clock stops. 43 seconds remaining. The Maroons, by my calculation, if I've been keeping track of things correctly, have 1 timeout remaining. So they only have 1 timeout remaining, and they have only 43 seconds, and they've got to move the ball down close to the 20, I would say, for a good shot at getting a field goal attempt off here. So they have got to go 45 yards with the football. Is that right, Chan? 35, around 35 yards with the football. And Sam's back, rolling out right, looking downfield, taking his time, sizing it up, firing it for Schumacher, battle for it, it's incomplete. Over the head of Ryan Schumacher, who pulled up on his pattern and then tried to jump up for it, but it was well over his head at the 40-yard line. That stops the clock with 35 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 coming up.
It was good pass defense as Nate didn't have a clear path to throw the ball. The Tolono guy was stride for stride with Schumacher there, and he really had to loft it up and hope that Schumacher could jump up and catch it.
Where's the hook and ladder? Where's the hook and ladder? Do you think so? Maybe it will be. No. Rolling out left. Looking downfield. Airing it out for Eichens on the fly. 40-yard line catch. He is. Get out of bounds. And he's still in bounds. But they'll stop the clock at the 22-yard line with 25 seconds remaining. Bobby didn't care if he went out of bounds. He just wanted to get additional yardage, and he was finally drugged down from behind by Unity's Thaddeus Bates. And Bob's real slow getting up down there. He appears to be injured. That, with the first down, will stop the clock, but then also Eichens very slow to get up here. We'll stop playing. Here's Carl Kortz on the sideline, and maybe Phil can get a shot of this. He's down to the right of the Maroons players on the bench. To the right of the players that you see in your screen right now is Carl Kortz limbering up. Now he's moved around a little bit. He's getting a hug from his teammates down there. But he just got done loosening up the right leg a little bit. Now he's standing behind the coaches going, okay, I can hit this. I can hit this.
Well, it was a valiant effort by Bobby, and you just hope that they could...
he came off under his own power. 22-yard line, or 23 of Unity. 1st and 10 for the Maroons. There's still time. 25 seconds. Quick pass. Here's the hook and ladder. They ladder down to the 10. Farley's out of bounds inside the 10. Yes.
Larry calls it.
I wish it would have gone for the score, but it only took another 6 seconds off the clock. Down to 19 seconds to go in the ball game. The Maroons are inside the 10, down to about the 9, with a 1st and goal at the 9. What a drive by the Maroons.
The cardiac kids of Clinton never die. They're coming back, baby.
They have 1 timeout remaining. They've got the ball inside the 9 right now. It would be a 25-yard field goal attempt or thereabouts. 26 probably to be more accurate. Left hash mark. Nate Sams with the ball, wanting to run with it. He's going to run for daylight. He's going to throw the last second wide open to the end zone, but he overshot Eichens. Oh, he had Eichens open in the right side of the end zone, and he overthrew him incomplete. 14 seconds on the clock. They're going for the 6. Heck with this field goal, they're going for the 6.
Well, when you're scrambling around, you can't put a lot of accuracy on it. So, you know, it was a good try, but they got a few more shots. 14 seconds.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
You can get 2 plays, maybe.
What a game. I thought last week's game was exciting, but, I mean, this one's been just entertainment from start to finish all the way through. Unbelievable. Timeout taken by Tolono Unity. They have used their final timeout. And, again, I think the Maroons still have 1 timeout remaining. And if these people can't get excited about football, then we better get the coroner out here and check on some of these folks if they can get excited tonight, because this has just been the absolute most entertaining football game I think I've ever seen. And that includes last year's playoff game with Robinson, which was a good one. The 34-29 loss to Robinson in the playoffs last year was a good one.
Well, as you said last week, I'm a rookie, and you said that most games probably wouldn't be as close as last week, but Clinton's tried to make it as close this time.
Did I say that? Why would I say something like that? 14 seconds on the clock. Clinton trails by 1 point, 34-33 to Tolono Unity, but they have driven the ball from their own, I think it was 33-yard line to the 9-yard line of Unity, and they've got them back on their heels a bit. Sam's dropping back, wanting to throw, looking for Schumacher, left side of the end zone. He caught it! He caught it! Touchdown!
Oh, my! What a pass from Nate Sam's! I love it! Oh! That's the play of this season.
There was a defender that had his hands on the football too, but Schumacher pulled it away from him, and the offensive man gets the call in that situation. Now they say there's a flag on the play, or maybe it was after the play. Let's wait and see. I think the touchdown will still stand. Unsportsmanlike conduct on a Unity player, and he has been ejected. So now they've had one ejected from this ball game. The Maroons lead. The touchdown coming with 9 seconds remaining on what officially would be a 9-yard touchdown pass from Nate Sams to Ryan Schumacher, and there's another flag thrown on the Unity bench. Now we've just got an extra point, a conversion attempt coming up here, but the Maroons are going to be at about the 6-inch line when they go for it here, maybe. I don't know. They have one penalty half the distance to the goal line. Then they have another penalty half the distance to the goal line, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he just motioned against the Maroons. Now he's going to change it, and he calls the penalty against Unity.
Once again, I made the statement about Hart, and the Maroons have shown it as Schumacher embodied that by taking the ball away from the DB that had his hands on it, and Schumacher showed that Clinton wants it more.
That's a good throw by Nate Sams again.
Yeah.
It was a little questionable and possibly up for grabs there, but it was thrown far enough away from the Rocket players where Schumacher had the best shot at it, and just as good a high percentage throw as you can make to still try to get the touchdown. And somehow the Maroons have scored. They lead 39-34 with 9 seconds remaining, and Carl Kortz is going to try the extra point from right at the 10-yard line like he normally would.
And they've done
Here's
all this
the snap.
in 40 seconds.
They come pouring through, but the kick looks good from here. It is good, and Clinton leads by 6, 40-34 with 9 seconds remaining. A touchdown run back by Unity could tie it, and an extra point could win it for them. And the way this game is going, like I said, when it looked like it was all over when Unity scored, the fat lady has not sung yet. Yes, thank you, Dick Motta, the head coach of the Bulls at one time, and the Mavericks and several others. He was the man, at least that I first heard, use that quote. It means the game ain't over till it's over. Thank you, Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra. Yeah, yabba dabba doo.
That's okay. This game's so exciting that it could take the words right out of anybody's mouth.
Even me. And Lord knows I have a lot of words to say. Yabba dabba doo. That's going to be, whenever we score, I'm going to say yabba dabba doo the rest of the year. My goodness.
If Carl doesn't get a touchback on this one, I don't know.
All right, the penalty yardage is going to be marked off on the kickoff. Now look at this. 15 yards for the first one and 15 yards for the second one. We're going to kick off
from our own 30.
No, from there,
for the
30-yard line. Instead of from our own 40, it's going to be from their 30-yard line that we're going to kick off. Now, how do you do this? Do you just go for the field goal attempt here, Carl, or what do you do?
Well, do you try the slip kick and hopefully try to burn clock, or do you bury it back for the touchback?
Onside kick. Onside kick. I don't know. We've got the lead, 6 points. All we got to do is run off the last 9 seconds of this ball game. I have never broadcast a ball game like this one, never. And, you know, after all, I've been broadcasting for 50 years, so...
Well, maybe it's me. I don't know.
All right, not 50. 15, would you believe 15? 11 years in Clinton, anyway. We're not entirely straight through, but about 9 of those 11 years. All right, Carl with the kick, and it does look like he's going to try to squib it. I don't know how much practice he's had at this. It's got to go 10 yards, and Unity covers it before it went to 10 yards, but that was before the Maroons could touch it. Had to go 10 yards. And it's a 21-yard line. They cover it, and 2 seconds ran off the clock. So they've got 7 seconds to try to pull off a miracle of their own. When did we get the ball? With how many seconds? 45?
45 to 42, somewhere in that time frame.
I think it was 45 seconds when we started our drive at our own 33-yard line. And the first pass play to Schumacher was incomplete.
Yeah, the Maroons really got the ball down in a hurry.
But it was the second play. The pass to Bob Igems. He got it all the way down to the 21. And then the hook and ladder. The throw to Schumacher, who pitched it to Ryan Conley, who got it down to the 10.
Which our own Larry called it the hook and ladder.
I was looking for it. Oh. Players jumping all over the place before the snap of the football here. Now the clock has run out. Is the game over yet? I think we have a penalty. No, the officials hold the ball in the air. What does that mean? It means the game, I believe, is over. Clinton has won it. Time has run out. That's the strangest ending I've seen to a ball game. The official threw the ball at the quarterback like he was giving him the quarterback, but certainly the Unity quarterback doesn't want the football. And this one's over. We'll recap it for you in just a moment. The final score, the Clinton Maroons 40, the Tolono Unity Rockets 34. Back here at Clinton High School, it's a final, and Clinton has won, and Joe got so excited he messed up his... Let me fix that, Joe. You're losing control over this ball game. It was a rally cap.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I got criticism from someone at home, and it wasn't either one of my two sons, about the way I looked last week with that sweatshirt on. So, there you go, honey. I'm all dressed up, got the tie on. I wore a maroon tie. Did you notice that, a maroon tie?
Very stylish.
Guess what I'm going to be wearing next week?
A maroon tie.
The maroon tie. That, you know, the dress look. So, because it worked.
Well, the Maroons looked at last week and told the crowd, you ain't seen nothing yet, as they got a winning score with 9 seconds left in the game. And I don't know how closer they can win it other than 9 seconds there.
If you're a member of the Tolono Unity Rockets, I mean, what are you thinking right now? I mean, you've poured your guts out. You played a heck of a game. You came from 21-6 down. You took the lead. You fell behind again. You took the lead again with 45 seconds ago or 49 seconds ago in the ball game. You took the lead again, and you still lose. I mean, you got to be going, what do we have to do here? I mean, obviously, our team's out there just elated, but wow,
yeah.
what a tough loss, huh?
Tolono has to be crushed. I mean, these guys played their hearts out, and they really, most ball games they would have won, but Clinton, their never say die attitude just kept on coming at them like a bulldog with the leg ripped off or something. I don't know, but
look at this crowd hanging around right now. A lot of folks, you know, there's people heading out, but there's a big crowd here still hanging out, waiting for the team to come off the field. But I think they've just finished their meeting out there at the center of the field. They're going to come over toward the near sideline here in a second. And you can bet there's going to be a yell going up from the crowd here as they come over here, and a lot of applause and so on for this team, because, let's face it, you know, they started out well in this season. The Clinton Maroons in the opening conference game of the year as they take on the Cardinals of Warrensburg.